Duteen pointed at Lu Cam, introducing enthusiastically, "Our new member, Lu Pham, top of Longdu Academy." The boy bowed politely to his seniors. Luffy and Shentai only nodded, while Lu Chuangkong stepped up with a grin. "Oh, Longdu Academy. What a coincidence, I'm Lu too, class Qingyan graduate." Lu Pham replied, amazed. "Really, senior? That's an honor." Laughing, Lu Chuangkong threw an arm around him. "Don't worry, it'll keep a single hair of yours safe," making Lu Pham a bit awkward but grateful. Curious, Lu Pham pointed to the badge on Luffy's chest. Lu Chuangkong explained it was a merit insignia. Silver and gold ranks existed too, and only 8 in the Griffin Corps had gold, commanding authority equal to Du Tin in his absence. From another corner, Luffy sternly asked why a student intern was placed in a combat squad, saying the mission was too dangerous. Du Tin snapped that he wasn't joking. If the boy died, it was his own choice. He continued with commanding tone on the battlefield, "Your brothers, but here, I'm superior." Lu Pham now belongs to Squad 78, not a student anymore. Luffy reluctantly agreed. Finished speaking, Du Tin walked toward Lu Cam, while Lu Chuangkong kept silent. Luffy gestured to Shentai to take Lu Cam to the meeting room to prepare for the briefing. Shentai adjusted her glasses, sighed, and muttered, "Trouble already," before heading out. Moments later, in Squad 78's meeting room, the four sat around a large table with a spread map. Luffy said calmly, "According to the outpost, a blizzard will hit in 4 days. We must finish before then." He calculated 2 days to reach the outpost, leaving 2 days for Route 78 exploration. Lu Chuangkong frowned. The schedule was too tight. Luffy replied evenly, "Since we have a rookie, expanding 100 miles will meet the quota." Shentai sneered, "So easy, perfect for a school field trip." Feeling the mockery, Lu Chuangkong signaled her to hush, while Lu Pham silently studied the map, deducing that the divine treasure might lie within the unexplored zone. Luffy stood and commanded, 15 minutes prep, we move out." Shentai grumbled about waiting for the storm to pass, but Lu Chuangkong laughed, "We're the vanguard, no whining." Luffy turned to remind Lu Cam to stable his mount in the supply barn. It had the best food and rest areas. Lu Pham hesitated, admitting his mount wasn't high enough level to use. Shentai looked surprised, scoffed that she would wait, while Lu Chuangkong joked how he'd fly without a mount. Lu Pham smiled confidently, "Go ahead, I can keep up." 15 minutes later, over the snowy sky, Lu Chuangkong rode his griffin, amazed as Lu Pham flew beside him with blazing soul wings, teasing him for looking like Longdu nobility. Luffy stayed silent, gaze unreadable. Lu Pham approached Shentai to chat, but she snapped, warning they were entering thick clouds. As they plunged into the white mist, Luffy shouted for vigilance, and Lu Chuangkong laughed, telling Lu Pham not to stray. Just as he replied, a violent gust struck, flinging him out of formation. Regaining balance, Lu Pham panicked. No one was around. He called out desperately, but his voice froze as he felt a crimson gaze staring from behind. Suddenly, a massive beast roared, lunging to swallow him whole. It was a sky-hunting corpse vulture, level 75 undead, hidden in the clouds, striking fast with illusion attacks. Realizing it was a fallen corpse, Lu Pham gritted his teeth, drew his sword, and slashed at its head in a flash. The blow made it screech and unleash its Sky Phantom skill. Trapping him just then, Lu Chuangkong yelled for him to dodge. As he veered aside, 2 hawk shadows pierced the monster. Shentai's twin eagles using Twin Hawk Yang Strike to save him. Shentai spurred forward, shouting to kill it before it cloned again. Cursing when only 1 hawk survived, Lu Chuangkong shielded Lu Pham, warning him not to break formation. Lu Chuangkong said he'd handle defense, but Lu Pham shook his head. He couldn't just watch his seniors risk themselves. At that moment, the corpse vulture vanished into the mist. Shentai barked, "Rookie, don't act on your own, follow orders." Lu Chuangkong laughed, pointing to himself, saying to let them handle it. He admitted they'd relied on the captain too long and had to prove themselves, leaving Shentai exasperated. Suddenly, a thunderous roar echoed through the clouds, stunning everyone. Lu Pham asked nervously if that wasn't the vulture's voice. Instantly, the others turned and fled. Lu Chuangkong shouted in terror, "It's the Sky Devourer! Run!" Looking up, Lu Pham saw an enormous beast, Sky Devourer corpse, level 75, consuming clouds and annihilating all in its fall. Worse still, it radiated power beyond even the doomsday form Xiaojia once took. Just thinking of it chilled the spine. Right then, Luffy flew in, shouting, "Stop gawking, move with the group." Lu Pham jolted forward, and Lu Chuangkong sighed in relief at the captain's return. Luffy yelled over the storm, "Shut up and fly faster! The clouds are full of corpses, and that Sky Devourer is still here," sending panic through all. Soaring through gray fog, Lu Pham thought grimly this entire sky had turned into a graveyard of the dead. Then he turned back to see the Sky Devourer opening its maw, ready to unleash its world-swallowing skill. In that instant, Lu Pham made a reckless choice. He prepared to summon his dragon, shouting, "Captain, let me handle it!" But Luffy barked angrily, "Are you insane? Stay with us!" Just as Shentai spotted a glow ahead and cried out joyfully, "There's the exit!" The squad shot toward the light, bursting out of the clouds just as the Sky Devourer fell, crashing straight into the ground below. Gasping, Lu Cam felt relieved it didn't chase. Luffy calmly explained it falls once leaving the cloud layer, just nature's rule. Lu Pam pondered each corpse beast had its own weakness, and those lessons were all bought with Griffin veterans' lives. Soon, the ground shook violently as the Sky Devourer's body slammed below with a deafening boom. Luffy barked orders, land, rest, reform the formation. Lu Kong obeyed, while Shentai trembled. We almost met our ancestors just now. Landing beside the huge crater, Lu Kong sighed about their reckless captain, flying into clouds with a rookie. Lu Pam bowed, apologizing for his ignorance. Lu Kong laughed, patting his shoulder. No worries, we all started clueless, every griffin learns the hard way. Suddenly Shentai spoke sharply. At this pace, we'll never finish the mission, we've got only 3.5 days left. Luffy replied calmly, once the rookie gets used to rhythm, we'll be fine. But Shentai stood, shouting fine, at this rate, we won't even live to see day 4. The air grew tense. She pointed coldly at Lu Pam's chest. I don't care whose favor got you here, but we don't tolerate carelessness. She continued, warning that if the giant awakened, the world would end, urging him to return to the rear for safety. Lu Fam met her gaze and declared, thanks to Captain and Brother Lu, I've learned much, please believe me, I'll fight with everyone. The tension broke when Lu Kong chuckled to mediate, and Luffy added, enough noise, everyone. He said this was Lord Dus' arrangement, it must have purpose, and they only needed to trust it. Then he told them to rest quickly before departure. Lu Kong agreed cheerfully, easing the mood. Afterward, Luffy softly told Shentai not to stress, let Lu Pam handle himself as long as he caused no trouble. Shentai muttered, that'd be a miracle. Suddenly, her hawk shrieked and alarm cracking sounds echoed from the clouds above. Lu Fam looked up to see massive ice chunks plummeting. Luffy shouted, scatter! Kong shield up! The team split instantly as Lu Kong raised his hand, activating a defense barrier amid the ice storm. The shimmering shield enveloped the squad, absorbing the massive impact for 10 seconds before restoring their health. When the hail ceased, Kong reported injuries and moved with Lu Pam to recover. Luffy called out, but only silence answered. At that moment, Lu Pam froze. Dozens of monstrous silhouettes surrounded him on all sides. They were Frostland snow fiends, level 80 corpses that could freeze prey for 30 seconds and went berserk below half health. Luffy's voice echoed. Lu Fam, do you hear me? Shentai tugged his sleeve, whispering, quiet, you alert the corpses. Hiding behind an ice boulder, Luffy panted, fearing the boy would survive. Surrounded by dozens of elites, retreat was the only choice. Shentai urgently proposed using her eagle as a decoy. Luffy thought briefly, then nodded, deciding to rescue Kong first. Once you send the lure, I'll rush in to pull him out. Just then, a chill of danger crawled up Luffy's spine from behind. He grabbed Shentai and leapt forward, narrowly dodging a massive snow fiend's strike. Gritting his teeth, Luffy changed plans, told Shentai to find Kong while he held the beasts off, ordering her not to look back. Shentai climbed a tall ice ridge, scanning the foggy expanse for her missing comrades. She shouted anxiously, Captain, seeing Luffy fighting alone against the snow fiends crushing ice blows. Worse, more monsters were drawn by the noise, charging at once. Shentai panicked. Too many! He can't hold out! Knowing only her whistle could alert Kong, she bravely lifted her hand to her lips and blew a sharp note through the storm. She commanded her last eagle to soar out and search for Lu Kong amid the white wilderness. The echoing whistle and wing beats lured some fiends away, giving Luffy breathing room in the fierce fight. Shentai gripped her weapon and called softly through the blizzard, Lu Kong, where are you? Elsewhere, Lu Kong, impaled through the abdomen by ice, gasped while watching Lu Fam face 3 snow fiends. Whispering weakly, Lu Pam replied, don't speak, I'll save you! Grasping his spear with resolve, Lu Pam said firmly, once I kill them, I'll heal you! Then began charging Dragon Fang Strike Space Sever. Horrified, Kong warned, you can't beat elite level 80 monsters? Listen to me! Before he finished, 2 snow fiends hurled icy boulders, raining frozen death toward Lu Fam. He roared low, unleashed Dragon Fang Strike, cleaving the first, then pierced the second's shoulder, felling it with a scream. The Space Sever technique chained twin dragon-infused slashes, each resonating with blazing draconic power. The sight left Kong stunned. How can you be that strong? Lu Pam smiled through frosty breath. Because for me, nothing's impossible. He declared proudly, I am a dragon knight, a dragon tamer of Manhwa province. But before he could finish, the last snow fiend hurled a massive ice block at him. Calmly, Lu Pam redirected his dragon energy, awakening the stellar dragon core within. Swinging his spear, he sliced the giant ice mass clean in two. The dragonlight blaze blazed across the snowy sky. What'd? Kong stammered, a level 32 dragon tamer fighting an elite 80 monster. Could your dragon? Just then, Shentai arrived, supporting a staggering Luffy, both lightly wounded. She gasped at Kong's bleeding wound. Luffy beamed. Lu Pam, you're alive! Kong smiled weakly. Thanks to him, or I'd be gone. Lu Pam turned, but in that instant, the fallen snow fiend rose again, screeching and lunging from behind. Lu Pam, behind you! Shentai's cry pierced the icy wind. Lu Fei instantly hurled the victory blade, a radiant arc that impaled and annihilated the creature in seconds. Cuffing, he ordered everyone to stay calm. Don't act rashly, ill-plan our retreat. Shentai offered, my giant eagle can carry 2 of you to safety first. But Lu Pam smiled lightly. No need, once we kill these things, it's over, right? Shentai snapped, you're joking now. We should retreat to the outpost immediately. Lu Fam's tone hardened. I mean it. I can heal everyone, but there are too many corpses, we might not last long. Shentai shouted, stop being reckless. But Lu Pam said nothing, his eyes darkening as another horde approached. He summoned the divine bow, saying quickly, Sister Shen, take the wounded and retreat, hold them off. Lu Fei gasped, that's the bright shot bow! The same one Lord Du used to slay the king of Nangu and force their retreat, he gave it to you! Shentai froze, heart pounding. The legendary weapon of Lord Du himself. Could Lu Fame truly bear such responsibility? Lu Fame simply smiled, voice steady, Captain, don't worry. Once you're all clear, I'll wipe out every corpse here. None argued further. Shentai called her eagle, and before taking off, Lu Fei warned, don't push too far, Lu Fame survive first. Watching the eagle fade into the storm, Lu Pam whispered, hoping they'd reach the outpost safely. He inhaled deeply, activated Phantom Arrow Shot, and charged the Snow Fiends, grinning. Let's see how strong this old master's bow really is. In the air, Shentai fretted, was it right to leave him like that? Lu Truongkong leaned back weakly, smiling, it's fine. He added, I saw him fight with my own eyes. Then sighed, truth is where the burden's now. On the ground, Lu Fam darted through the hailstorm. Every attack shattered by phantom arrows, no ice shard could touch him. Seeing their efforts fail, the monsters roared and rushed to surround him. Lu Fam frowned, still not giving up. Tilting his stance, he gripped the bow tighter. Alright then, try this one. As he spoke, Bright Shot Barrage activated. 12 enchanted arrows rained down, each bursting through thick ice with explosions of energy. At the same time, he summoned Xiao Ye and Xing Then amid the blizzard's glow. The Snow Fiends, enraged by the barrage, entered berserk mode, their strength and speed soared, ice armor thickening. To counter, Lu Fam commanded, Xing Then use Dark Star! Instantly, Xing Then soared upward, drawing a blazing aura across the stormy sky. It gathered immense energy, forming a burning star aimed at the enemy's center. The energy sphere descended, glowing brighter as it neared the ground. Suddenly, an idea struck. Lu Pam shouted, Xing Then, fall back! I'll shoot it down! As the star neared impact, he drew the Bright Shot bow, charged for 3 seconds, and fired a supreme phantom arrow. The arrow, infused with 500 dragon force, struck the Dark Star together, forming the cataclysmic Dark Star Phantom Shot, obliterating all monsters in its blast. The shockwave split the ground, energy waves shaking the air so violently that a nearby griffin lost balance, sending Lu Fei's group tumbling into the snow. Their rescue eagle dove, pulling each member from the deep drifts, while Lu Fei coughed from the shock. Staring toward the blast center, his eyes widened. So this is Lu Fam's true power. At the crater's heart, nothing remained but shattered ice. No corpse survived. Lu Fame brushed his hair, smiled, and patted Xing Then. Good work. Xiao Jia, your turn now. He turned to Xiao Ye. Scout the area. If it's clear, we'll regroup. Just then, a spatial gate opened, and Lu Fei's voice rang out. Lu Pam spun around, smiling, Captain, you all made it back. Lu Fei eyed Xiao Ye curiously, asking Lu Fam, that explosion earlier, was that you? Seeing Xiao Ye tense up, Lu Fam smiled reassuringly. Relax, his family. He commanded, Xiao Ye, shift form! The dragon screeched and soared skyward. Its body morphed into a massive black dragon with fiery eyes. Lu Fan smirked, if this place bothers you, wipe it clean. Instantly, Xiao Yi unleashed great catastrophe, detonations blanketing the frozen land in fire and smoke. The scene left Lu Fei's group dumbstruck. You're really the dragon tamer of the South Province, and that girl's your dragon. Lu Fan nodded. Yes, this is Hai Long Xiao Ye, my partner. Lu Fei gasped. So you're the prodigy Master Du always spoke of? Even the cold-tempered Shentai admitted. Now I see why Master Du sent you. Lu Changkong laughed. You hid that well? Lu Fan! Lu Fan smiled modestly. You flatter me, I still have much to learn. Lu Fei patted his shoulder. I've trained many, but you're the calmest and most responsible. Thanks for saving us. Shentai blushed. I misjudged, you thought you'd drag us down. Lu Changkong butted in, laughing. Fate brought us together, help each other later? Lu Fan replied warmly, am glad for your trust. Suddenly, Xiao Yi roared, body blazing with wild energy that shook everyone. Lu Fei shouted, Lu Fan, what's happening to your dragon? Checking the interface, his eyes lit up. Level 30. Stats boosted and it awakened perception sense, revealing and disabling hidden foes. He grinned. Even elite assassins won't scare me now. Lu Changkong recalled. You said you couldn't ride yet. What about now? Lu Fan nodded. I'm a true dragon knight now. He pulled a saddle from his storage, mounted Xiao Ye, their bond igniting with radiant dragon aura, power resonating as one. Shentai gawked. Look, the dragon's flames light the whole sky, terrifying yet beautiful. Seeing it for the first time, Lu Fan worried something was wrong with Xiao Ye's transformation. But moments later, joy replaced fear. Xiao Ye was evolving again. Reaching stage 2, it grew massive and majestic, a true great dragon. Lu Changkong whistled, what a beast! Lu Fei shivered at its fiery aura. Luffy turned to him, thrilled. A dragon like that deserves a special saddle. Let me get you one. Lu Fan waved. No need. I've got one. Luffy frowned. You don't get it. Griffin Corpse saddles boost mounts by 10 stats. Shentai added. Yeah, flying's effortless with that bonus. Lu Fan grinned, revealing his gear. Mine's custom-made draws 100 of Xiao Yes stats and adds dragon aura to attacks. Lu Changkong gawked. 100%! He gasped, with dragon aura effects too. That's divine gear? Everyone stood stunned by the artifact. Luffy scratched his head, embarrassed. Compared to that, the corpse saddles are junk. I even planned to brag. Guess you win. Lu Fan. He laughed. This morning I thought you were dead weight. Now everything you pull out's a treasure. Shentai scoffed. Dream on. That gear's dragonly. My bird's got no dragon blood. She sighed. Whatever, just standing near that dragon aura is blessing enough. The two bickered while Lu Changkong burst out laughing. Come on, we're witnessing history here! He whispered in awe. The world's first true dragon knight, right before our eyes. Lu Fan stroked Xiao Yes' head. Thanks, you've freed me from weakness. Let's fight together. Then he saddled the dragon. The moment he mounted, immense power surged through him. Felt like he could rip the sky apart. He marveled. The dragon saddle grants me the true might of dragonkind. Lu Fan's stats skyrocketed. Strength, agility, spirit, endurance all multiplied. His dragon fang spear sprouted twin claws. Dragon talons evolved into dragon annihilation. 6 high-speed strikes since with Xiao Yes 6 magic bursts. Lu Changkong stared, admiring. When you saved me, I knew you were strong, but now I'm just scrap beside you. He sighed quietly, bitterness rising. His old glory crumbled before Lu Fan's brilliance. Suddenly Xiao Yi growled low, turning sharply toward the snowy distance. Then it shot into the sky, vanishing into the white storm. Realizing something, Lu Fan shouted, Xiao Ye! Corpse Caesar ahead used perception sense. As soon as the skill activated, strange signals lit up before them. Through the haze appeared a figure with faintly glowing butterfly wings. The Luffy team mounted their beasts, stunned as the hidden foe revealed itself. Luffy warned grimly, that's Engaishu. Stay back if you value your life. Engaishu turned out to be a level 85 monster, lurking in icy winds, a vicious bloodsucker. Once it marked you, death usually followed. Yet Lu Fan only smiled, thrilled by the challenge. He drew his weapon and charged straight into the swarm with Xiao Ye. Lu Changkong gawked as Lu Fan crushed Engaishu like brittle ice. Excited, he laughed to Luffy. See, nothing to fear from these freaks. Just then Luffy shouted, behind you! A flash sliced through the remaining Engaishu. It was Lu Fan again, his ranged strike precise as lightning. In one motion he unleashed dragon annihilation and warned the team to guard against ambushes. After a fierce battle, the Engaishu swarm was completely wiped out. Gazing at the bloodstained snow, Lu Changkong exhaled. Lu Fan saved me again. Shentai smirked, teasing. Try not to lean on him so much, act like a senior for once. Lu Fan chuckled, saying he and Xiao Ye fought in perfect sync. Storm or not, they'd lead the mission to success. Then Luffy pointed skyward. Serious, a massive blizzard's coming early. Our retreat route's about to vanish! Shentai looked up at the gray sky, worried. Carrying the wounded through that storm could doom them all. Seeing morale dip, Lu Fan declared boldly, Engaishu was nothing. Now's our time to prove ourselves with true glory. As soon as he finished, Lu Fan raised his hand toward Luffy, eyes firm, vowing not to risk anyone's life and trusting he could protect the whole team. Shentai and Lu Changkong both turned to Luffy, silently awaiting his final call. Luffy smiled, gripped Lu Fan's hand, and agreed they'd proceed with the mission despite the storm. Thus, the squad's journey resumed, advancing hundreds of miles deeper into the frozen lands. Midway, Lu Fan swung his sword, cleaving another charging Engaishu in two. From the corpse dropped a shimmering shard, the long-sought eternal frost crystal. Lu Fan shouted with glee. His trials in the blizzard had finally paid off. He quickly stored it away and called out, Area's clear, everyone regroup! Battling wind and snow, the team gathered, chatting as Luffy marveled that Lu Fan had slain thousands along the route. Lu Fan laughed warily, having lost count, while Lu Changkong sighed, wishing for such strength. Shentai teased, patting his shoulder. Think it's that easy? Her laughter lightened the mood. Soon Lu Changkong urged, let's head back, my wounds are going numb, and Shentai agreed. All were exhausted. Just then, Xiao Ye shrank down, chirped softly, and was soothed by Lu Fan's gentle pat as the team prepared to return. Once settled, Shentai set a locator beacon while Luffy commanded the retreat, tension fading into calm. Unexpectedly, Shentai planted a large metal rod into the ground, its base humming in the storm. A red beam shot skyward, carving a bright mark in the snowy night. Curious, Lu Fan asked, and Shentai explained it was a positioning gun for future outpost construction. Luffy nodded, adding it was a special Griffin Corpse device used only in survey missions. The team then mounted their beasts and flew back, unaware a dark silhouette watched from beneath the signal post. The figure stood motionless in the snow, its shadowed eyes tracking their fading trail. The next day, at the northern base, Luffy gathered everyone, then hurried to report their results to Master Du. As Shentai was leaving to rest, Lu Fan ran up, asking if anyone in camp could forge the Eternal Frost Crystal. She thought a moment, then replied, Old Chu in the supply forge can handle that. Shentai smirked playfully. Making a gift for your girlfriend. Lu Fan blushed and waved frantically in denial. Flustered, he excused himself and tugged Xiaoye along, promising to find it some tasty meat. Shentai stood still, watching them fade into the cold wind. She slowly drew from her coat a clear pendant crafted from eternal frost crystal. Pressing her lips to it gently, her eyes shimmered with unspoken feelings. Meanwhile at the forge, as Lu Fan handed materials to old Chu, Du Jing appeared, saying he'd been looking for him. Laughing heartily, Du Jing said Lu Fai had reported everything and praised Lu Fan for leading the team through the blizzard. He then pinned a bronze badge on Lu Fan's chest with pride, while Lu Fan thanked him humbly, deeply moved. Du Jing's tone turned solemn. Other teams had fallen to corpse corruption, but thanks to Lu Fan and Xiao Ye's teamwork, his unit returned unharmed. Du Jing burst out laughing, recalling how Xiao Yi devoured food like a starving beast, leaving Lu Fan scratching his head in embarrassment. Suddenly, his face turned serious. He told Lu Fan to let his mount rest. There was something crucial he needed to show. Du Jing produced a stack of photos, saying they were secret intel taken in the Xingniao Kingdom. The images showed a colossal humanoid skeleton found in the ruins of Sacred Mountain, where Sala Morgan led an excavation. Lu Fan observed that the thing radiated the same aura as the blood moon, so huge that nearby people looked like dust specks. Du Jing added that there was also a secret video captured during the infiltration. The footage began with the massive skeleton. The cameraman whispered shakily, "Sir, we've arrived. It looks like a six-winged angel." A blonde woman asked about young Master Sally's whereabouts. The man beside her answered, "Hes at the temple." The man continued they'd sent a skilled team there, but all contact was lost after a strange sound echoed. Then the blonde explained that golden light from the temple warped nearby creatures, driving them insane. Suddenly, she warned someone was approaching. The man realized it was a fourth-stage expert from their team, but his behavior was erratic. He gestured for silence. Out of nowhere, the man named Qing Shan Nuo attacked, forcing them to flee in panic, shouting he had turned into a Qing Shan. The clip ended there. Du Jing's calm voice followed, saying the agent barely escaped, otherwise there'd be no footage. Lu Fan murmured the name Qing Shan Nuo. Du Jing explained it was a creature surpassing the Qing Shan husk, mutated by the temple and the giant skeletons. Lu Fan pondered it resembled the corpsey Caesars born of the blood moon, all slowly awakening after ages of slumber. Du Jing nodded, saying the discovery was sent to Longdu, where scholars concluded the beings were ancient beyond record, now called by one terrifying name, Demon. Lu Fan frowned, questioning their origin, purpose, and true power, everything shrouded in mystery. Du Jing sipped his drink, advising him not to dwell. Everything about the ancient gods was unknown, like a newly cracked secret of the world. He continued, beasts touched by the sacred mountain turned into sacred mountain husks, or sacred mountain servants, while those under the blood moon became corpse Caesars. Lu Fan quickly added that corpse Caesars were also classified, some as corpse husks, others as corpse servants. Du Jing nodded, agreeing that so far they'd only met weak corpse husks, warning them to stay alert if a true corpse servant appeared. Lu Fan addressed him respectfully, Senior Du, asking if anything else happened after the Qing Shan Nuo incident. Du Jing's voice dropped. Qing Shan Nuo had massacred the entire Morgan clan at the Qingshan ruins, sparing only one Sark Li Morgan. Lu Fan was stunned. Du Jing confirmed it, recounting that after the lone agent escaped that nightmare, they saw Qing Shan Nuo and Sark Li facing each other before the temple, tension thick in the air. Then Qing Shan Nuo clenched something in his hand and slowly extended it toward Sark Li. But instead of striking, he handed Sark Li something called Qing Shan Essence. Lu Fan widened his eyes, repeating in disbelief, Qing Shan Essence. Du Jing continued. Sark Li was already powerful, but after absorbing that essence, he transformed completely, becoming a so-called holy class bearer, a profession never before recorded. Du Jing laid a heavy hand on Lu Fan's shoulder, warning gravely that this foe was extremely dangerous. Lu Fan merely echoed, holy class bearer. Then, he clenched his fist, eyes blazing with resolve. No matter how strong that man was, he would claim the top rank. 2 days later at Master Chu's forge, the old smith proudly lifted a finished piece, boasting it could fetch 10,000 dragon coins. Lu Fan praised his superb craft. Lu Fan slid over a large jug of wine, saying it was Senior Du's favorite, and a token of thanks. Master Chu laughed heartily, patting his shoulder. Just then, Shen Tai and Lu Changkong burst in, announcing a new expedition. Everyone was to depart immediately. Lu Fan gripped the freshly forged pendant, nodded at Master Chu's blessing, silently sealing his promise. Lu Changkong slung an arm around him, half teasing, Junior Lu's got a bronze badge already. We've been stuck a year. Shen Tai chuckled along. The next morning, the squad set out again with Lu Fai leading, reporting supplies good for 15 days in a mission to explore deeper uncharted zones. Upon reaching the marked coordinates, Lu Fan sensed something off. The last signal had vanished. Shen Tai called out, spotting something nearby. She pointed to the fallen signal pole buried in snow, groaning, blown down already. 2 days in its junk? Lu Fan stayed silent, unease tightening his chest. Something felt like it was waiting for them in the blizzard. Yet Lu Changkong eagerly advanced, shouting, "Mission start!" Lu Fan sprinted after, yelling that it could be a trap. The moment Changkong turned to ask, shadows twisted behind him. Grotesque creatures burst from the storm. He froze as the team found themselves completely surrounded, chaos erupting. Luffy cursed aloud, while Lu Fan kept calm, studying the monsters. Luffy gasped. They were the corpse servants Senior Du had warned about. Amid the dread, a deep, chilling voice declared that the corpse servants were slaves of the radiant gods. Lu Fan shouted, demanding the identity of the speaker hidden in the snow. Lu Changkong's face turned pale, horror dawning in his eyes. A pale hand reached out, slowly pulling down a hood. Luffy cried out in shock, "Liu!" Shentai went rigid, eyes wide in disbelief at the figure before her. The figure spoke in a dark, hollow tone. "Atai, long time no see." As text appeared, Liu, corpse servant LV.76, Lance Knight. Lu Fan turned to the team, voice sharp, "Who is Liu? You know him." Luffy stammered that Liu was once a silver badge officer and Shentai's fiancé lost on a mission, now horrifyingly reborn as a corpse servant. Before she could finish, Lu Changkong cut in, hissing, "Captain, stop!" Lu Fan's gaze flickered with concern, turning toward Shentai, who stood trembling. Shentai covered her face, sobbing, crying Liu's name and begging him to come back to her. Footsteps approached, and a deep familiar voice said, "Atai, I've missed you too." Liu knelt, gently touching her cheek, whispering that had finally found the woman he loved. Shentai burst into tears, throwing herself into his arms, exclaiming that everyone would rejoice to know he was alive. Suddenly, black mist poured from Liu's body. His hoarse voice rasped, "I can't return, but you can stay with me, can't you?" His face twisted, voice turning feral. "All of you will remain here to serve the god about to awaken!" Shentai screamed in terror as Lu Fan's voice echoed, calling her back to reality. Eyes blazing red, Liu kept luring her, "Stay with me, Atai, worship the god together." Lu Fan shouted for her to run, not to listen. Liu hissed icily, threatening to crush all who resisted into soulless puppets like the other corpse servants. Shentai wept, pleading, while Lu Fan kept calling her name. He rushed forward, clutching her trembling form, begging her to wake and resist the hypnosis. From atop a giant skeleton, Liu roared, demanding Atai's answer: would she stay and serve the god or not? Luffy realized the danger, shouting for Lu Fan's plan. The corpse servants swarmed thick. No way out. Shentai only trembled, muttering in despair. Lu Changkong cut in, saying even a suicidal charge wouldn't work with thousands around and no signal left. Luffy snapped, "Forget signals, run if you want to live!" But Lu Fan only smiled calmly, saying fleeing was pointless. They no longer needed to run, leaving everyone stunned. Lu Changkong gaped, seeing dark power gather in his hands, stammering, "You're not wiping them all out, are you?" Lu Fan replied firmly, his glowing brow raised, "Yes." He smirked, declaring, "If the enemy comes knocking, might as well earn some military credit." Liu sneered, "So that's your answer," then coldly decreed, "Those who defy the god share one fate." He roared, sending the horde forward. Their shrieks filled the storm as they charged Lu Fan's team. Amid chaos, Lu Fan's voice stayed steady. He drew his bow and ordered, "Senior Lu, raise the shield!" "A quick got it," echoed back. Lu Changkong didn't hesitate, summoning a golden barrier around the squad. Luffy gasped, "Then what next?" Lu Fan smiled coolly, "There is no next, the rest's on me." His arrow of light shot forth toward Liu as system notifications flickered on his interface. Hearing that, Changkong shouted in panic, "No next. My shield lasts 10 seconds! Lu Fan answered firmly, "Trust me, 10 seconds is enough." Liu dodged the arrow by a hair as the timer hit 8 seconds. In the same instant, Lu Fan vanished, reappearing behind him, commanding, "Xiaoye, unleash Dragon Titan form!" A colossal dragon erupted from the void with an earth-shaking roar. The barrier timer dropped to 6 seconds. Below, Luffy gazed upward in awe, whispering, "It's all on you now, Lu Fan." As the monsters surged closer, Changkong yelled, "Captain, watch out! Shield at 4 seconds!" In midair, Lu Fan drew his short blade, ordering Xiaoye to strike in sync. Activate Dragon Aura. The shield timer ticked down to 3 seconds. Lu Fan lunged forward, unleashing a storm of blade strikes at Liu, each one burning with fury. At once, the system announced Phase 0 activated. Xiaoye became an ancient dragon, roaring as flames engulfed its body. A sea of fire swept outward, incinerating the beast. The defense shield timer hit 2 seconds. Changkong stared in awe at the devastation, while Luffy calmly noted it was merely the synergy of Dragon Tamer and Great Dragon. Even wounded, Liu gasped in disbelief. He looked up to see Lu Fan gripping his hand, hoarsely asking, "Why, my god?" But the barrier's final second was ticking away. As it faded, Xiaoye breathed another inferno, wiping out the last monsters as the shield vanished completely. The battle ended abruptly. Lu Fan ran to Shentai, asking if she was okay. She whispered, "I'm fine, thank you." When Changkong suggested binding Liu with holy light, Lu Fan refused. Shentai gazed at her lover, familiar yet so distant. Suddenly, Liu convulsed, exploding with massive corpse energy that shook the heavens. Lu Fan instantly recognized it, the pure essence of a corpse Caesar, a rare core energy. As his strength ebbed, Liu regained clarity. Pleading for Shentai to leave, she clutched his hand, believing he'd returned. With his last breath, he murmured corpse servant like a final farewell. His hand slackened, warmth fading into the cold. Shentai screamed in despair, calling Liu's name through sobs. Amid the silent snow, she held his body, convinced he truly came back for that brief moment. Lu Fan quietly affirmed it. Luffy spoke solemnly, saying they survived thanks to them, and suggested returning to report Shentai needed time to heal. Then, a purple beam tore through the air, startling everyone. Luffy shouted, demanding to know what happened. Lu Fan drew his blade, sensing the energy. It was Liu's corpse essence ascending toward the blood moon. He immediately chased the light, refusing to let the precious essence escape. In a flash, he harnessed the corpse essence, a legendary item with unknown effects. Holding the gem, Lu Fan guessed it was akin to Sacred Mountain Essence from Sark Lee, the system-confirmed acquisition of corpse essence. He deduced that, if theory held, it could enable a hidden class shift into a servant of the ancient gods. Luffy worried, but Lu Fan urged him to give it to the senior for safekeeping. The image of humanity enslaved under ancient gods loomed vividly in Lu Fan's mind. When Luffy called his name, he snapped back, glancing toward Shentai. Luffy hesitated, suggesting they wait a little longer before leaving. Sensing his doubt, Lu Fan said quietly, "Captain, we should help time's short." Luffy nodded in agreement. The team moved toward Shentai, their faces heavy with sorrow. She murmured faintly, clutching an icy ring, tears falling as she admitted that her love had always been a fleeting dream. Lu Fan stepped closer, steady voice assuring her that what she felt was real. They all heard it. Shentai removed her glasses, wiping away tears, softly thanking Lu Fan. She put them back on, gaze firm again, telling Luffy she was ready for the next mission. Seeing this, the team exchanged silent understanding. No one spoke of Liu again. Luffy ordered the retreat, and Squad 78 responded in unison. The group left the snowy mountain, and Shentai realized he had to move on from his sincere love. The next morning, Du Jing sat before the purple gem, examining it until everything suddenly made sense. Lu Fan spoke up, "Senior Du, I have a theory," and Du Jing nodded gravely. "Let's hear it." He said becoming an ancient god's slave required special conditions. Dead men, or beasts, only became mindless corpses. Thus, one without will could be enslaved by a god. They had nothing left for a deity to control. Analyzing further, Lu Fan saw that the god's slaves retained awareness, unlike Luo, who was wholly consumed by corpse essence. Hence, he concluded that one could only become a god's slave by the ancient god's own choice. Du Jing raised the crystal and asked solemnly, "So you mean none can turn themselves only if the god acknowledges them?" Lu Fan nodded, saying only those alive with will could qualify. Li Luo once said corpse slaves could leave this place. Du Jing frowned, noting strange sects had emerged lately, all claiming divine protection. He added that with their abnormal powers they grew fast, preaching that gods would soon awaken among mortals. Clutching the gem, Du Jing affirmed that if Li Lu was right, those zealots were likely servants of the ancient gods. Lu Fan pondered, if a dozen nations have such sects, could a dozen gods be awakening? Then he pressed, "In the far north, only this camp has survivors, right?" Du Jing nodded. "So who from the lion corpse is missing?" Realizing it instantly, Du Jing knew if they lived yet vanished, they'd likely turned into corpse slaves. Finally, Lu Fan firmly urged a special purge order to eradicate this spreading threat. Suddenly, Du Jing fell silent, eyes heavy amid the still air. After a pause, he spoke sadly, "Mourning brothers once loyal now hunted like foes." Understanding the pain, Lu Fan placed a hand on his shoulder, saying there was no other way the fallen would understand. Du Jing nodded warily and sighed, finally letting go as if fate had already chosen. Then Lu Fan glanced at the corpse essence crystal, inspired to test his theory. Du Jing frowned, puzzled. "Test on whom? Don't tell me a living being." Lu Fan chuckled, "What if I try it on my dragon just a little?" Du Jing exploded, "Are you insane? Never use a living creature, especially your dragon? It's deadly." Lu Fan quickly waved, "You misunderstand. Senior, I didn't mean that dragon." Du Jing froze, wide-eyed, not grasping what the boy meant. Soon after, they stepped into the snow. Du Jing asked, "I've seen you fight aside from 5 dragons. Are there more?" Lu Fan smiled, "2 of those 5 aren't real dragons but spirit projections summoned by my true ones." Du Jing was dumbfounded. Then Lu Fan raised his hand, shouting, "Come forth, Xiao Fei! Summon Twin Sky Dragon King!" A beautiful girl appeared midair. She waved, and twin massive wyverns burst from the void. Lu Fan explained they were soul dragons. Power matched the summoner's rank. Du Jing watched in awe, realizing those 2 were summoned spirits and none of Lu Fan's dragons were ordinary. The beast before them was the soul of the Sky Dragon King, level 22, whose every breath dealt random chaotic damage. Lu Fan reasoned it was the weakest of his 5 dragons, perfect for testing since it could be slain and revived. He shouted, "Senior Du, let's begin." Du Jing nodded in understanding. Lu Fan ordered Xiao Fei, "Feed them this," and she obediently complied. She tossed the corpse essence crystal into the air, letting it fall toward a waiting dragon. The dragon opened its jaws and swallowed the glowing purple gem whole. Instantly, its body convulsed violently, twisting in grotesque ways. Purple mist engulfed it, the dragon howling and writhing in unbearable agony. The sight stunned everyone. Xiaofei screamed, calling to her dragon in panic. Du Jing reacted, shouting for Lu Fan to back off, declaring the beast a corpse slave, but Lu Fan begged him to wait. Watching the raging dragon, Lu Fan muttered, "Killing it now wastes a priceless chance," though Du Jing firmly disagreed. Thinking fast, Lu Fan yelled, "Xiaofei, you're its master, reclaim control! Break the ancient god's grasp!" At his call, she unleashed the Jade Light, cleansing all debuffs, empowering herself, and shielding allies from incoming damage. Lu Fan guessed the Sky Dragon King, being half-dragon, resisted full purification. The purple aura still lingered. Even so, waves of green light kept pouring from the Jade Light, wrapping around the colossal beast. Power surged until the dragon trembled wildly, its roar ripping through the snowy sky. Xiaofei's eyes suddenly flared bright green, brimming with pure, ancient energy. In the next instant, she charged forward, aura blazing, closing in on the struggling dragon. The two below gaped in horror, unable to grasp what was unfolding. Yet the dark beast gradually calmed. It didn't turn corpse slave, but instead absorbed divine power. Now it had become a level 22 corpse-devouring demon dragon. Xiaofei regained full control, leaving Du Jing astonished. He turned to Lu Fan, admitting his theory was right. The essence triggered mental resonance, mutating both dragons beyond prediction. Breathing out, he thanked Lu Fan for stopping him, then laughed that Lu Fan had gained another boon. Lu Fan excitedly asked if Squad 78 could resume duty. This time Du Jing agreed, saying they'd confirmed the god slaves and divine essence, only the final piece remained, the divine temple. Lu Fan turned slightly and whispered two words, the ruins. Next morning, riding their mounts again, Chang Kong asked curiously, a real temple or just ruins? Lu Fan explained the ruins. Li Luo mentioned matched Intel Kingdom's report on the Golden Light Temple, tied to the god's awakening. At that moment, the system notified them they were nearing the marked spot on the divine treasure map. Suddenly, Shentai shouted, pointing ahead where dazzling light flashed. She cheered joyfully. They'd finally escaped the freezing blizzard. Before them lay lush green land with soaring birds. Shentai was moved to tears while Lu Fan stayed silent, feeling his heart at ease. Chang Kong pointed ahead in surprise, "Isn't that the sea?" Du Jing softly replied, "This was my first landing site, but what do those giant chains under the ice connect to?" Making Chang Kong even more curious. At that moment, the system confirmed they'd reached the treasure map's location. Lu Fan spun around excitedly, shouting, "Perfect! These are the exact coordinates!" He knelt, brushing away thick snow, eyes gleaming with hope. A blue glowing object appeared, a dragon egg of unknown rank. He cheered, having found his fourth dragon egg. Then he noticed a pitch-black square box buried deeper in the snow. Opening it, the system displayed info on a strange ancient book inside. Shocked, he saw it contained draconic magic, doubling spell power if he reached level 35 and synced with the blue dragon. Power resonance would skyrocket. He planned to contact Duty from Tianhua Auction to unlock another pet slot for his next move. Shentai and Chang Kong approached. She waved. "Lu Fan, why are you just standing there?" While Chang Kong teased, admiring the view alone, Junior. Lu Fan rose, smiling. "Nothing much, just thinking this must be the far north's edge. Beyond that lake lies uncharted land." Then Lafai replied, "Not so fast, we've only cleared the blizzard. The far north's vast, this is just the interior." Wind howled past icy peaks. As Chang Kong wondered why the massive chain stopped here, Lafai guessed it linked to the blood moon. Lu Fan agreed, calling it a god's bridle, while Shentai thought its master lay at the chain's end. Arms crossed, Lu Fan suggested moving forward to confirm. Chang Kong slung an arm around him, eager to test their luck beyond the lake. But Lafai warned sternly, "No one's explored that lake, it's dangerous. Remember last time you nearly died, Chang Kong?" Hearing that, Chang Kong grimaced. Yeah, I remember," making everyone laugh as Shentai patted his shoulder kindly. While they talked, Lu Fan stepped ahead, saying, "Captain, let me scout first." Lafai nodded, trusting him. Then bright light burst from Lu Fan's hand as he shouted, "Xiaoye, transform radiant form!" Xiaoye roared, power erupting, his aura flooding the frozen skies. Lafai stood hands and hips, ordering, "We'll rest here. If anything happens, retreat immediately. Shentai, you hold the teleport key." She nodded, tapping Chang Kong's head playfully, making him jump. Lu Fan spread his wings, called back firmly, "Let's go, Xiaoye!" and soared into the air. 2 hours later, riding Xiaoye, he marveled at how vast the land stretched, the chain extending endlessly. Suddenly, the system blared, detected corpse ruins area, level corpse relic zone. Lu Fan's eyes widened, so all the clues finally align. As Xiaoye sped up, Lu Fan mused that these ruins might resemble the place where the holy mountain people turned into slaves harboring ancient god power. Abruptly, Xiaoye halted and roared a warning, prompting Lu Fan to ask warily, "What is it?" He looked down into the frozen lake, his gaze growing tense. Beneath the ice, a massive black coffin emerged. The system confirmed secret of the corpse ruins unidentifiable, similar to the blood moon. Lu Fan froze as a faint shadow glided beneath the ice near the coffin. Xiaoye roared in alarm. Lu Fan quickly soothed him. "Easy, Xiaoye. He reasoned that if Xiaoye reacted so strongly, the thing's power rivaled his best not to provoke it without data. Suddenly, the black shape shot upward, racing toward them at terrifying speed. Lu Fan's face blanched, shouting, "Not good, it spotted us!" Ice shattered in its wake, he ordered. "Xiaoye, retreat to the far shore!" Glancing back, he realized the creature was even faster than Xiaoye, dread gnawing at him. Xiaoye roared and soared higher, a green aura flooding the icy skies. Seeing the shadow vanish beneath the ice again, Lu Fan exhaled in relief they'd escaped for now. His face hardened, he thought, thank goodness the Dragon Mount buff now let him share Ling Feng's insight to aid the team. Hearing the commotion, Chang Kong turned, beaming, "Hey, Junior Lus back!" Seeing Xiaoye tense, he asked worriedly, "What happened? Trouble?" Lu Fan gritted out, "Ahead lies the corpse ruins, but beneath the ice is something truly dangerous we must report immediately." His words stunned everyone. Chang Kong blurted, "Even you avoid it. That bad?" 15 minutes later, in the command center, Du Jing listened intently to the report about the coffin and the shadow below. He concluded firmly, "Then halt all exploration. I won't risk another tragedy like the Morgan clan." Lu Fan added, "It felt sealed something there unsettled Xiaoye deeply." Du Jing studied the map gravely. "If even Dragonkind fears it, the corpse ruins lake is now a forbidden zone." He looked up and ordered, "Oldla, cancel all nearby routes and send the coordinates to Scholar Longdu." Le Fei saluted and left. Du Jing continued, "From now on, Squad 78 will assist Scholar Longtu's research." The whole team acknowledged. Then, he turned to Lu Fan, pride in his eyes, handing him a gleaming silver badge. "Less than a month and you've led the team to great merit." Smiling, he added, "Take it, it's the Lion Corp's formal recognition." Lu Fan shook his head. "Thank you, but this badge means heavy responsibility. I've not been here long enough to deserve it." Du Jing pinned it on him anyway, saying, "Accept it. When you join the corps, you'll be promoted immediately, no loss there." Le Fei chuckled, "Only 19 hold silver badges here. If Lu Fan joins, I'll gladly take orders from him." Chang Kong feigned envy, "Promotion already. I'm not jealous at all." Lu Fan raised the badge, smiling, "Then I humbly accept, Senior Du." Chang Kong grabbed his arm, yelling, "Let me touch it once!" Shen Tai sighed, shaking her head, hopeless. Le Fei turned, "Lord Du, if there's nothing else, we'll escort Scholar Longdu." Du Jing nodded, told them to rest, then suddenly called, "Wait, Lu Fan, stay." The boy blinked in surprise. Du Jing rummaged through his books, saying, "Since your arrival, mission speed has soared. I wish I could keep you, but your loan term's nearly up." He handed Lu Fan a dossier. "These are for you. In a week, I'll send you back to Longdu Academy." Receiving the national trial dossier, Lu Fan thought only 2 weeks remained. It was time to leave the far north. Seeing him pensive, Du Jing asked, "What's wrong? Forgotten the national trial, or planning to stay with the Lion Corps?" Lu Fan chuckled, a bit reluctant, "Yes, but I've never forgotten my goal." He added, "With my synergy between dragon and corpse powers, I'll win the national trial." Du Jing laughed, "Good! The headmaster prepared that file for you, study it well." Lu Fan nodded and left the room. Meanwhile, in a forest of Taiji Kingdom, a monster screamed amid eerie violet light. Chang Han, representing Taiji, stepped forward, smiling coldly, demonic faces swirling in the energy around him. Jinzhou trembled behind TNG, asking, "Brother, hasn't your dark summoner evolved yet?" "We've waited forever." Chang Han raised his hand, demonic energy pooling in his palm. "Almost just needs a few more souls." A villager spotted them, shouting, "Your Highness the Prince and Princess, you've come to slay the beast yourselves." His wife cheered, "What an honor! Please come inside, it's freezing." Chang Han smirked, eyes cold, replying, "Very well then." He summoned a swarm of twisted-faced spirits, sneering, "Courtesy demands obedience." The spirits lunged. The man cried, "Your Highness, what are you doing?" The wife screamed, "Monster! Help!" Tianjai shouted in horror, "Prince, stop! You'll harm civilians!" But Chang Han stayed icy, ignoring their screams. "Collateral damage. I just need their lives for my summon's evolution. Peasants' deaths are a blessing." He turned away, glancing at TNG. "So long in House Jin and still Namavi pathetic." Jinzhou ran after him, "Brother, wait for me!" Tianji stood frozen, eyes heavy with silence. Meanwhile, in Hang Kingdom, 4 delegates sat around a dimly lit table in the Arcane Council chamber. "Qilan, Hang's envoy began. This time in the national trial, our 4 nations will unite." Wei Qi of South Kingdom frowned slightly. "If the royals decree it, I have no objection." Jaya Sunlight from the same nation softly warned, "This alliance must stay secret, leak it, and you know the price." Qilan nodded, "Each trial is a grand chance. United, first place is ours." All 4 said in unison, "To a fruitful alliance." The candlelight flickered, casting golden shadows across hidden faces. Meanwhile, in Snow Kingdom, near a roaring volcano's mouth, a soldier rushed up. "Young master, the patriarch commands you must depart." Andre of Snow Kingdom hefted his massive axe, grinning after slaying the last beast. Finally, the national trial begins. At that moment, in the ancient temple of Qingshan within Starboard Kingdom, preparations for a grand ritual were underway. Suddenly, a messenger arrived, panting, reporting to the waiting group. Then a richly dressed man stepped out, asking Sakli about readiness before traveling to Taiji Kingdom. Sakli, representing Starboard Kingdom, wings of gold ablaze, declared proudly he would seize the national trial championship. 2 days later, as Lu Fan read his files, a knock on the door broke his concentration. Lu Fan opened the door to see Du Jing and the whole team cheering, teasing, and wishing him first place in the trials. When the laughter faded, Du Jing smiled warmly, reminding Lu Fan to pack up and return to Longdu Academy. Lu Fan simply smiled and replied, "It's time to go." Early next morning, he went to the headmaster's office at Longdu Academy, knocked lightly, and a familiar voice invited him in. He entered, greeting politely, his face a mix of nerves and comfort. Zhuo Shengming beamed, shaking his hand, greeting Lu Fan like an old friend after a long time apart. He introduced 2 special guards assigned to protect the Longdu team on their journey to Taiji Kingdom. Then, he explained their duties and noted that the headmaster was away, so he would oversee the coming trial trip. He advised Lu Fan to rest and promised the academy would fulfill any reasonable request before departure. Lu Fan chuckled, saying there were indeed a few things he needed. He asked directly if the academy could supply a scroll to expand his pet slots. Zhuo Shengming blinked. "Got yourself a new dragon." Lu Fan just grinned, just being thorough. Sighing, Zhu said the item wasn't rare, but currently unavailable. He apologized. So Lu Fan smiled, stood, and asked to handle his own affairs for the remaining days. Zhu agreed. That afternoon, back at Villa No. 2, Hanky rushed to hug him while Tan Thu and the others welcomed him joyfully. Warmth filled the air as the family gathered for a feast. Lu Fan felt a pang of homesick nostalgia at the familiar flavors. During dinner, Tan Thu eagerly asked about his journey and the new powers he gained up north. The meal stretched 2 hours, Lu Fan recounting everything, his heart light seeing his loved ones safe. As night fell, he gazed at a blue gem trinket, thinking he should see her before leaving. Suddenly, Cao Xiaomang pounced, teasing, "Who's that gift for?" making Lu Fan flinch, flustered and annoyed. Hanky told everyone to rest early, while Xiaomang smirked, guessing it was for his senior sister. Lu Fan frowned and slipped away quietly. An hour later, sitting alone on the floor, he sighed, realizing his senior wouldn't show tonight. Then inspiration struck. He remembered Sister Duo's number. She could help contact his senior and maybe find that pet slot scroll. Soon, in Tianhua's VIP lounge, a playful voice answered his call, greeting the long-absent little brother. It was Duo Yatu. Lu Fan immediately asked her to connect him with his senior. She teased, "Miss her that much," making him blush and mumble, he just wanted to deliver a gift. But Yathu gave bad news. The senior had gone home for family matters and cut contact for now. She suddenly remembered the senior had left some items for Lu Fan and invited him to Tianhua to collect them. That afternoon, when they met, Yathu smiled brightly, teasing that he looked totally different now and joking about his bodyguards. They sat down. Lu Fan praised Tianhu's booming success, and Yathu laughed, saying part of that was thanks to his dragon egg. Hearing this, Lu Fan mused that the starry dragon egg made Tianhua famous, though the azure giant dragon egg remained his secret. Then Yathu produced an ornate box, opened it, and handed him the gift his senior had left behind. Seeing the flowing flame Skyfire sword, a legendary weapon, Lu Fan froze, breath nearly stopping in awe. Lifting it, he felt waves of heat, as if it was forged just for him. Yathu proudly said it was made by a top smith his senior had commissioned. Clutching the hilt, emotion welled in him. His senior had quietly watched over and prepared everything for him. Then Yathu produced a rare skill book, explaining that reaching level 35 would unlock draconic resonance, vastly boosting his combat strength. She pointed at an attached letter, teasing, "Oh my, a love note," snapping him from his daze. In it, his senior wrote she had to leave suddenly and couldn't watch him compete, hoping he liked the gift. She added that this time it was hand-delivered, wondering if he'd still try to return it like before, and apologized for her absence. The last lines promised that, once back, she'd treat him to a great meal and a proper duel in the point arena. She also told him not to wait foolishly at Villa No. 2 if she wasn't there, regretting she couldn't cheer him on in Taiji Kingdom. Her tone then turned stern. He must win first place, or she'd personally discipline him for shaming her. She ended with a reminder about the never-melting ice crystal, telling him to keep it safe until she returned. Lu Fan smiled softly at that. Seeing him silent, Yathu tilted her head. "Hey, little brother, you okay?" Lu Fan nodded, thanking her for delivering the gift. Yathu laughed. "No need for thanks, you're Tianhua's lucky star." He then asked, "Sister Duo, do you have any scrolls to expand pet slots here?" Yathu frowned regretfully. "Sadly, we just sold the last one." She explained that the scroll market was tiny, only hunters or converters bought them, so they rarely kept stock. Lu Fan sighed, thanked her, and left, disappointed that neither the Academy nor Tianhua had any. His Azure Titan Dragon plan would have to wait. Yathu assured him firmly, "Don't worry, if we get any pet slot scrolls or draconic books, I'll reserve them for you." Grateful, Lu Fan smiled and promised to count on her, then excused himself as night had grown late. On his way back, he thought even with Yathu's help, time was too short. He'd have to level up himself before the trials. At Villa's gate, he spotted Jian Ying waiting, who scolded softly, "Out this late, you're bold." Surprised, he asked why she was alone. Jian Ying replied, waiting for you to see if you'd spar before leaving. Lu Fan laughed, perfect timing, I've been dying to test this new sword. Moments later, they entered the academy's arena. Lu Fan drew the flowing flame Skyfire sword, magma flaring as he readied for battle. Jian Ying narrowed her eyes, poised, new skill. Looks like you brought back quite the loot from the north. With a sharp cry, she dashed forward like the wind, her opening strike too fast to track. Lu Fan countered instantly, his blade blazing red, flames engulfing the arena as he felt perfect synchronization. As he struck back, Jian Ying gasped. His special skill converted all damage to fire, each kill boosting attack by 0.1, now reaching 12.4. Lu Fan dodges swiftly, grinning, praising his senior for picking a sword that fits him perfectly. He leaps high, thinking his old Mo Long sword can finally retire. Then he shouts, Jian Ying, watch out, his voice echoing across the arena. Jian Ying stays silent, speeding up and unleashing the Po Jun strike like a raging storm. When their blades clash, a thunderous boom erupts, shaking the air with heat waves. Jian Ying is stunned though Lu Fan just got the sword. He deflects every blow effortlessly, earning her respect. Lu Fan laughs, your strikes are sharp too. This Nanqing sword is truly fierce. She smirks, oh, maybe my combat skills can't keep up with you anymore, then launches her ultimate move. A shockwave from her Ham Shan strike blasts Lu Fan back, filling the arena with dust. Jian Ying approaches, eyes admiring, you're always improving. Being near you makes everyone feel safe. She offers her hand, in the national trial, make sure you get first place, alright? Lu Fan grips her hand, smiling confidently, don't worry, I will. The next morning, Han Qi waves goodbye tearfully, reminding him to stay safe as everyone wishes him luck. Lu Fan waves back, heart full of emotion. The short day in Longdu passed too quickly. Boarding the plane, his heart burns with resolve, eyes fixed on the horizon. Only 3 days remain before the national trial, his chance to join the strongest of Longguo. Upon landing, Shi Shengming greets him, Lu Fan, you're here. The national supervisor is waiting. He explains that each country's trial has supervisors to ensure fairness. Before leaving the airport, he warns, this supervisor was appointed by Director Gao. Show utmost respect. Mid-sentence, Shi Shengming suddenly freezes, then kneels abruptly. Lu Fan panics, Vice Principal, what's wrong? A warm voice replies, no need to kneel. Please stand up. An elderly man with silver hair smiles kindly. Ah, you must be Lu Fan, our Longguo representative. At Jinyu Airport of Taikou Nation, Shi Shengming bows deeply to the newcomer, Han Fei Bai. He introduces, this is Lu Fan from Longdu Academy, a second-rank Dragon Knight. Lu Fan bows awkwardly in return. Han Fei Bai laughs heartily, good! So young and already a dragon rider, your future's limitless. He continues, heroes are born young. After this trial you make Longgu proud. Lu Fan bows humbly. Before leaving, Han Fei Bai chuckles, I'm old friends with Du Jing. If you need help, ask him or just call me. Watching him go, Lu Fan asks, Vice Principal, who exactly is that old man? Shi Shengming replies solemnly, has one of Longguo's 3 elders, Han Fei Bai. Lu Fan realizes has met a man at the peak of Longdu's power. In the car, Shi Shengming chats cheerfully while Lu Fan smiles quietly, thinking the elder is truly profound and this trial might open incredible doors. The car speeds down the highway, scenery streaming by like fading streaks of light. Lu Fan asks curiously, Vice Principal, if Han Lao is one of the 3 elders, why did I feel any powerful aura? Or am I just too weak? Shi Shengming laughs, no, Han Lao isn't hiding his aura, has just a level 40-something chef, leaving Lu Fan speechless. He continues, among the 3 elders, one's a top warrior, another a reforging master, and Han Lao's a cook, yet 3 peak swordmasters follow him willingly. Thus, Han Lao's true power lies in influence and the respect he earns from other elites. Lu Fan muses that all 3, a fighter, an enhancer, and a cook, are pillars in their own right. Just then, a shadow guard up front calls, Representative, we've arrived. The car stops before a grand hotel, swarmed by reporters blocking the entrance. As the door opens, someone shouts, the Longgu team's car is here! Escorted by Shi Shengming and 2 guards, Lu Fan faces a storm of flashes and questions about dragons, Jin clan, and championship odds. He frowns, thinking this Jinyu city is tiny yet absurdly noisy. Shi Shengming struggles to clear a path through the crowd. Just as Lu Fan reaches the lobby, another shout rises. Another representative has arrived. That afternoon, amid the packed hall, Lu Fan finds a quiet corner, sighing that he can't even sneak outside. Shi Shengming chuckles, nothing worth sightseeing here, just rest. Lu Fan asks teacher, has Shaili from Xingdiao Nation shown up? He nods, their secretive always appear right before the match. Suddenly Lu Fan spots a familiar figure, frowning slightly. It's Qing Han laughing among the crowd, making Lu Fan uneasy. Feeling that cold stare, Qing Han glances back warily, eyes locking with Lu Fan's. Tension thickens until Jin Taiyan jumps up, grinning toward the door. Heavens, isn't that old Han? Longguo even invited you this year. Murmurs ripple, someone recognizes Han Fei Bai, one of Longguo's 3 elders. Jin Taiyan hurries to shake his hand, introducing himself as the event director. Han Feibai laughs heartily, exchanging greetings as the hall buzzes, especially when people notice his with the 4 absolute swords. Approaching Lu Fan, he says warmly, "We meet again, Lu Fan," stunning everyone with his familiar tone. Seeing the commotion, Jin Taiyan raises his voice, "Since everyone's here, let the welcome banquet begin." Qilan cheers. "Finally, my favorite part." Ganlai laughs, eyes gleaming at the food carts. "A royal feast from Taikyu Nation! Must be amazing!" At the next table, Shi Shengming whispers to Lu Fan, "Careful dining etiquette here differs from Longdu. Don't embarrass us." Lu Fan nods blankly, "Got it." When the lids lift, Qilan and Ganlai gape and even Lu Fan freezes, face twisting slightly. He leans in, whispering, "Vice Principal, is this really a royal feast?" Han Feibai chuckles kindly. "Yes, Taikyu Nation is poor in produce, rich in minerals. Their cuisine's modest." Lu Fan forces a smile. "Ah, I see." He sighs inwardly, thinking even Han Kes cooking beats this. It's pure torture for the taste buds. Then he recalls the snacks his aunt packed in his luggage. Suddenly, a loud bang echoes. Someone slams a hand on the table, freezing the room. It's Andre, a level 60 blazing warrior, roaring, "This slop is a royal feast." A bearded man tries to calm him. "Andre, relax!" But Ching Han sneers, "If you don't like it, don't eat. Losers never appreciate refinement." The words barely leave Ching Han's mouth before Andrew's veins pop. Roaring, "Say that again!" In a blink, Andrew closes in, aura flaring. Jin Taiyan rushes to stop him. "Calm down! The trial hasn't even started!" The bearded man frantically pulls Andrew back. But Andrew ignores him, pointing straight at Ching Han. "Remember this? In the national trial, pray you don't meet me!" A chilling, killing intent radiates from Ching Han as he smirks, "I'm counting on it." Andrew snorts, flipping his chair. "I'm done. Toss my food!" and storms off as his friend yells, "Hey, where are you going?" Just then, a mouth-watering aroma fills the hall, stopping Andrew mid-step. He looks around in surprise. It's coming from Han Feibei's table. The elder laughs. "Now that's a divine smell!" Qi Shengming gapes. "Lu Fan, you brought a whole feast." Lu Fan scratches his head, embarrassed. "Yeah, my aunt packed it in case I couldn't handle the food here." Seeing Andrew's hungry stare, Lu Fan smiles warmly. "Wanna try some?" He adds softly, "We're guests, no need to pretend. This'll taste better than that so-called royal feast." Without hesitation, Andrew drags a chair over. Grinning, "Then I won't be shy!" He grabs a steaming bun, eyes gleaming. "Alright, here goes nothing." One big bite later, his eyes light up like fireworks. Flavor explodes on his tongue, and he yells in delight, "Delicious!" Lu Fan chuckles kindly. "Go ahead, eat all you like." Andrew laughs heartily. "Thanks, brother," blending right into the meal. Lu Fan offers a salad, smiling. "Han Lao, Vice Principal, please have some." Han Feibai grins, "Gladly." Between bites, Andrew exclaims, "Brother, Longdu food is amazing!" His praise draws glances. Even Jin Taiyan and Ching Han eye the table hungrily. Qi Shengming whistles, "Your aunt's truly a master chef, no wonder it's a family art." Ching Han frowns deeply, anger boiling as his chopsticks snap in his grip. Jin Taiyan quickly stops him, murmuring, "Calm down, not the time." Then he rises, smiling as if nothing happened, and calls loudly, "Everyone, attention please!" The hall falls silent, all eyes turning his way. Jin Taiyan presses a button. Beep, the banquet is ending. Lu Fan's group watches curiously, wondering what comes next. In a clear voice, Jin Taiyan announces, "Now I'll reveal the map and rules of this year's national trial." A huge screen lights up behind him. Lu Fan studies it 9 regions, each filled with fierce beasts. The bigger the map, the longer the trial. Jin Taiyan smiles, "Exactly! This year we've selected 9 terrains worldwide, forming the largest map ever." His tone hardens. Each zone has beasts from level 50 to 80. The stronger the prey, the higher the reward. The screen shifts again. There's also a mission point system. Each area has random tasks granting bonus points. Hearing this, the crowd's faces tighten, the atmosphere turning grave. Lu Fan listens intently as Jin Taiyan adds, "You can only take 1 mission at a time. Complete it to unlock the next." Looking around, Lu Fan senses everyone murmuring. The rules sound fair, but clearly fuel hidden rivalry. Crossing his arms, he muses, "The more points you hold, the bigger the target you become. It's kill or be killed." Beside him, Han Feibai smiles knowingly. Kalan points at the map, curiously asking, "Mr. Jin, what are those skull icons?" Jin Taiyan laughs, "Good question. That's the new rule, the Dark Spire Towers." Dark Spire Towers. Qilan repeats, drawing everyone's attention to the ominous black symbols. Jin Taiyan continues seriously, "Each zone will have 1 Dark Spire Tower that moves randomly. Inside are sealed ancient demon beasts once ruled by the 9 realms Fiend." The hall erupts. Someone shouts, "That thing nearly destroyed Taikyu Nation." Ganlai groans, "Impossible, they're insane." Viki adds coldly, "Utter madness." Lu Fan frowns, "What's the 9 realms Fiend?" Qi Shengming whispers, "A demon beast sealed by Taikyu 50 years ago. Its broken seal nearly wiped the nation out." Han Feibai recounts how 5 fourth-turn masters joined forces to seal it, becoming Taikyu's living legends. Lu Fan grimaces, picturing how even 5 masters barely subdued that ancient horror. Qilan smiles at Mr. Jin, noting that while other beasts in the trial are weakened, this fiend keeps almost full power. Jin Taiyan smirks, claiming that makes this year's trial far more thrilling. Then he proudly declares the fiend and its demon army inside each tower are in their true states, unwakened. The room explodes in outrage and fear. If those beasts break loose, it's suicide. Andre protests furiously, calling the rule insane. Someone like him would need 10 allies to face one. Amid the uproar, Lu Fan raises his hand, his tone calm but firm, calling Jin Taiyan by name. Staring straight at him, Lu Fan asks bluntly, defeating the 9 realms Fian gives points, right? Vi Qifei chuckles, and K Lan leans over, saying the rule is about survival, not farming points. Jin Taiyan shuts off the screen, smiling faintly, explaining that all beasts yield points the Fiend gives the most. He bows, ending the briefing, and thanking all representatives before dismissing them. The crowd disperses quietly, faces tight with discontent. VQ snorts in frustration. Han Feibai turns back, smiling at Lu Fan and Shengming, advising them to rest well and meet again at the launch ceremony. As he leaves, he chuckles cheerfully, inwardly excited to see how many points Lu Fan will earn from the Fiend. That night, Lu Fan lies awake, pondering the vast map, real monsters, and the brutal rule of point theft. He reaches for his phone, eyes thoughtful. Opening it, he finds the ranking predictions and frowns at seeing his name in first place. He smirks faintly, thinking the media loves exaggeration, putting him on par with Jin Qing Han. Scrolling further, he notices another person also ranked first, quickly memorizing that name. At dawn, the host's voice echoes, announcing the national trial of Tai Ki Nation officially begins. Lu Fan lifts his head at the signal, eyes shining beneath the blazing sky. The host then declares the secret realm gate is opening. A surge of light engulfs all representatives, pulling them into the trial space. In the darkness, Lu Fan closes his eyes, vowing to reach the first dark spire tower and seize the advantage. Lu Fan opens his eyes, a confident grin forming as the system announces entry into the national trial realm. Meanwhile, in the monitoring center, crowds press around the giant screen as the host declares the final contestant has entered. The point tracking system activates, and all eyes lock on the leaderboard where glory will soon be decided. Du Jing folds his arms, waiting to see Ho claim the top spot first. Han Feibai and Qi Shengming watch intently, betting silently on Ho C's rank 1. The view cuts to Lu Fan. He opens his eyes as the system confirms full entry into the national trial realm. Scanning the terrain, he recognizes the frozen north. The interface labels it National Trial Subrealm Ice Plateau. He raises his wrist to activate the tactical display. A holographic screen appears. His location sits at the map's edge, and the leaderboard is still empty. Spotting a mission marker in the lower right corner, he sets it as his first target and checks his survival-linked wristband. Smiling, Lu Fan forms a dual-element spell array, summoning 2 portals, 1 blue, 1 crimson. In a flash, 2 spirit dragons emerge. He leaps onto Xiao Yes back and commands takeoff. The spirit dragon roars, spewing fire as it soars skyward, leaving a blazing trail. On its back, Lu Fan laughs, asking the little sprite to boost power. With Xiao Yi, it chirps happily, rubbing his shoulder. He laughs louder, pats it, and shouts, "Head straight for the Dark Spire Tower!" Xiao Yi roars and accelerates through the clouds. Elsewhere in the trial, under a blazing desert sun, a lone figure walks, leaving deep prints in the sand. Qing Han smirks coldly, removing his gloves as a violet gate opens, grumbling at being dumped in this familiar wasteland again. He chants, and from the violet gate pour countless shadowed faces. The system declares summoning Darkshade Legion, evolved level 61 of the Triple Wanderer. The spirits split into 8 squads, vanishing into strategic points across the dunes. Each carries the Darkshade link, granting invisibility and shared vitality with the main body. Qing Han watches arrogantly as his respawn timer shows 12 hours and 9 lives, virtually immortal. Suddenly, one head is pierced by an icy sword, shattering into black mist. Tang Tian gazes at the fading head on her blade, sneering that he's down to 8 lives now. Qing Han's watch flashes a warning. He yells furiously, asking why Newton would kill his summon when they're allies. Tang Tian sheathes her sword coolly, saying she just wanted to test if killing summons grants points. Qing Han snaps back that she should kill Lu Fan instead of wasting his lives. She shrugs with a teasing smile, saying he's got 8 left anyway. Shell let him slay some bosses to make up for it. Qing Han turns away irritably, muttering he's done arguing with such an annoying ally. Seeing him leave, Tang Tian hurries after, pleading not to be abandoned since Jin Taiyan might be watching, begging to teleport with him for safety. Qing Han halts coldly, saying their alliance is temporary. He'll kill Lu Fan, shall handle the Black Dragon, and adds a secret Jin Taiyan never revealed. He laughs wickedly, revealing that the Dark Spire Towers move randomly and attack any contestant they encounter, shocking Tang Tian, who's never heard of this. She quickly realizes the danger, asking nervously if he could still revive after facing a tower. What about her? Qing Han raises a hand glowing violet, smirking as he promises that as allies, he'll ensure her safety. With a sudden blast, he fires the purple energy into her chest, knocking her back before she can react. Tang Tian stares at the violet aura wrapping her body, frowning in confusion. Qing Han grins proudly, calling it the Darkshade Pact. Instantly, invisible chains bind her body, draining her strength as the energy seeps deep into her veins. Moments later, Tang Tian collapses pale, while Qing Han turns away calmly, saying she can now revive through his spirit beast. The pact is sealed. He glances back coldly, warning that if he dies, she dies with him. Tang Tian snorts, thinking he's just trying to control her. His words promise protection, but his heart reeks of suspicion. Qing Han replies while walking off, claiming alliance with Tai Q Nation was wise, assuring Hell lift the pact after the trial, and urging her to take a mission before hunting Lu Fan. She frowns, asking what mission weren't there, only task points. Qing Han turns, grinning slyly, saying it's a trap mission set by Jin Taiyan, known only to him. Once accepted, it locks permanently. Tang Tian gasps, demanding, "What the hell is a trap mission?" Qing Han smirks, replying she'll find out soon enough since no one has ever completed one. 5 hours later, in the monitoring room, the crowd gathers around the main screen, murmuring that the 3 command nations have been eliminated. Someone explains that those are Longdu, Xingdiao Nation, and Shu Nation, but strangely, Longdu's score lags behind at only 257 points. Just then, the sound of tea being poured draws every gaze toward it. Jin Taiyan watches the screen calmly, while Han Fei Bai sips his tea with a chuckle, deepening everyone's curiosity about Lu Fan's actions. Jin Taiyan narrows his eyes, a flash of suspicion crossing his face as if sensing something unusual. The view shifts to Lu Fan, who frowns at his watch. Still no sign of the Dark Spire Tower, when suddenly a message flashes: Sky Predator LV bought 60 points 84. Almost instantly, 2 Sky Predators dive from above like arrows. Xiao Ye reacts instantly, dodging their fierce assault. Lu Fan assesses calmly these 2 are worth too few points. Real progress needs bosses or other contenders. Suddenly, an explosion erupts ahead. His watch signals an active mission point. He tenses immediately. He orders Xiao Ye to descend and investigate, his voice steady but resolute. At the mission site, Jia Shanlai slashes furiously at a massive beast. Each strike drives roars of agony as the creature trembles violently. When it finally falls, Jia Shanlai pants heavily, muttering that fighting without third-tier power is exhausting. Still, he grins smugly, boasting that at least he completed his first mission. But as he turns around, Jia Shanlai suddenly freezes, his face draining of color. Before him stands a colossal dragon wreathed in crimson fire, its eyes burning straight into his soul. When the rider dismounts, he realizes it's Lu Fan, the feared representative of Longdu. Lu Fan says nothing, calmly reviewing the data on his holographic screen. After a moment, he closes it and walks toward Jia Shanlai, who's standing on guard. But Lu Fan merely passes by without a glance, leaving the man staring blankly after his retreating figure. Gritting his teeth, Jia Shanlai recalls Longhan Academy's arrogant prodigy who crushed Nanguo, vowing to slay him and become a hero. On his screen, Lu Fan's stats show rank 23, level 32. A wicked grin spreads. What a golden chance. Acting on impulse, Jia Shanlai charges forward, shouting for Lu Fan to stop. He unleashes Water Scale Prison, twisting streams forming a liquid cage around his target. The skill binds for 19 seconds. Jia Shanlai grins, certain Lu Fan's trapped and doomed. Suddenly, a massive black claw rips through the air from nowhere. Before he can react, it smashes him aside. His scream echoes across the icy plains. His body tumbles like a rag doll, crashing hard onto the frozen ground with a crack. Groaning, he clutches his shattered arm, cursing the dragon's terrifying strength. His bones must be broken. Then Lu Fan finally speaks, reaching through the icy prison, his voice calm and cold. Fishing for profit, you're thinking too far ahead. With a flick of his hand, the prison shatters into mist. He throws Jia Shanlai a disdainful glance, saying, your 5,000 points aren't worth my effort, I'll let you go for now. Jia Shanlai freezes, why-did his control skill undone so easily, and is only level 32. Impossible! Humiliation bowls up. He snarls that even in death, Hell kill Longguo's representative to avenge Nanguo. But before he can attack, Xiao Ye's furious roar knocks him flat to the ground. The dragon steps closer, flames gathering into a blinding sphere in its jaws. Jia Shanlai screams in terror. Lu Fan smiles faintly, voice calm yet sharp, just a reminder this mission's mine. Don't interfere. His wrist display flashes mission accepted, exterminate epic boss Earth Fiend of the Nine Realms, LV.85. Lu Fan's expression hardens, eyes locking on the data before him. Meanwhile, Jia Shanlai trembles, stammering this time, has truly doomed. Suddenly, behind him, a massive black shadow bursts upward, red eyes blazing as it crashes toward Lu Fan, shaking the ground. Seeing a chance, Jia Shanlai scrambles to flee, screaming, but after a few steps, he trips and falls face first in the snow. He turns back, voice trembling, that's the boss guarding the mission point. Before them, the Frostworm King LV.5 roars, its killing aura freezing the air, bounty value 2, 40-50 points. Jia Shanlai bursts into manic laughter, thinking fortune's on his side. Lu Fan will die first. But in the next instant, the Worm King swings a colossal claw, swatting him like a fly across the snow. Its bloodred eyes then snap toward him, locking on its next prey ready to be torn apart. Jia Shanlai turns pale, sweating and stammering, thinking only one word: doomed. Suddenly, a crimson light flashes behind the Snow Beast King, making it halt and look back. As it turns, a red beam slices through, carving a deep gash across its chest. Green blood sprays everywhere, and Jaya Sanlai screams in terror. Xiao Yi wastes no time and charges like thunder. With a deafening roar, black claws pierce the monster. The system announces Void/X2 Dragon Aura Link Dragon Strike combo damage. Lu Fame sneers coldly, saying so big yet so weak. Xiao Ye lands beside his master, roaring while Lu Fame mocks the corpse weaker than a fallen one. System updates Longdu Lu Fame 257 24 for 50 points. Jia Sanlai stands frozen, drenched in sweat, before the abyss Lu Fame just created. Paralyzed by fear, he trembles before the light-swallowing pit, unable to believe a mere level 32 player caused such destruction. His face goes blank, breath rag, heart pounding wildly. Lu Fame grips the Lu Hu Tianyan sword, eyes glowing red, each step radiating icy killing intent. Jaya Sanlai mutters hopelessly that his end has come, no escape this time. He shuts his eyes, screaming for mercy, but Lu Fame walks past without even a glance. Trembling, he opens his eyes to find nothing ahead, only a gust of cold wind brushing his face. Jia Sanlai turns, stunned, unable to believe Lu Fame truly spared him. Just then, a glowing ring lights up behind him, startling him to spin around. Seeing the text on it, he freezes. New quest activated. Raid the epic boss, Earth Fiend Demon of 9 Realms, level 85. He stammers, recalling Lu Fame's words, so the guy really means to challenge the 9 Realms demon. Meanwhile, in the control room, Zhang Shengming shouts in alarm, shocked such a mission even exists. He points furiously at Jin Taeyan, demanding why an impossible quest is allowed. How can Lu Fame earn points now? Unable to contain himself, he grabs Taeyan's collar, yelling to cancel the mission, accusing it of being a broken design. Jin Taeyan glares, shoving him off, warning hell be thrown out if he keeps this up, adding it's the order of the Taiji nation. Zhang Shengming's face darkens. He grits his teeth, spitting out a bitter "you." Han Fibai steps in, urging the vice principal to calm down. Pouring more tea, he says calmly that Taiji nation deliberately favors itself, setting traps for Longdu's representative, yet Longdu can't appeal. Han Feibai sips tea, swirling, and asks does he really think Lu Fame's mission choice was coincidence. Zhang Shengming freezes, protesting it's unfair, begging him to speak up for Lu Fame. Han Feibai chuckles, saying schemes only trip up the schemer, worthless before true power. Setting down his cup, his eyes gleam. He says this impossible quest is exactly what Lu Fame desires, and he believes the kid can do it. Zhang Shengming slowly calms, takes a deep breath, nods, and turns back to the screen. Then suddenly his eyes widen in utter shock. Zhang Shengming can't believe his eyes as Lu Fame heads straight for the 9 Realms demon spire. Scene shifts. Lu Fame rides Xiao Ye through the sky. System alert, dark spire ahead. He laughs excitedly, shouting he's finally found it, ordering Xiao Ye to speed into the 9 Realms battlefield. Around the spire, countless demon beasts swarm. System alert, Bloodfang Legion LV 60 84 points. Lu Fame smirks, thinking these beasts once served Yuan Changfang, now just his XP fodder. He calls out, "Spirit, wake up, take the lead," and the spirit roars twice in reply. Lu Fame gives a command. Flames around Xiao Yi spiral up, transforming into a destruction dragon form. System confirms Black Dragon evolved into destruction dragon form. Instantly, black fire erupts, burning every demon beast nearby to ashes. Lu Fame shouts, "Xiao Ye, watch the ground!" From below, Bloodfiend crawlers surge up. System tags and LV175 127 points. Drawing the Lu Hu Tianyan sword, he smirks coldly. Perfect timing. The more the merrier. Current Dragon Aura Black Dragon 11. Xiao Yi roars, sound waves blasting foes. Each hit carries Dragon Aura, spreading damage, then triggers Magma Blaze, attacking and self-healing at once. From afar, Lu Fame spots endless mobs closing in. He frowns, killing one by one's pointless. I need a clean sweep. He raises his hand, activating Dragon Rally, boosting all stats and attacks for both him and his dragon by 30. Xiao Ye's stats skyrocket: powers 9433 2060, spirit over 26k, durability nearly 13.6. Lu Fame commands Xiao Yi, unleash Great Cataclysm! Xiao Yi roars fiercely, detonating Great Cataclysm. Destruction Dragon's blast scorches the skies and everything below. Standing atop the dragon, Lu Fame's eyes gleam. He decides to test a new skill, Guided Precision Shot, charging for 3 seconds, 500 damage. Countdown 1. Xiao Yi breathes a massive fire column. Earthward boom. Countdown 2 3. Lu Fame aims sharply and yells, "Now!" The Shadow Serpent arrow streaks out, piercing the mob's core, triggering a second explosion combined with Destruction Dragon. The blast burns everything with 5 spirit power. System floods with updates. Longdu Lu Fame 222 758 points, rank 23, rank 1. Earthfeed Legion annihilated. Void Star Dragon rises to LV 912. Lu Fame ascends to LV 30 Demon. The control room erupts. Everyone cheers. Master Yusan returns! Lu Fame really stormed the Dark Spire! While Sally and Andrew's scores remain stagnant. Zhang Shengming wipes his sweat, turning to Old Han, admitting he was right. The trap quest was actually Lu Fame's master move. Han Fibai sets his teacup down, smiling wide. He laughs heartily, praising Lu Fame and the Black Dragon's overwhelming might, many skills still unused. Zhang Shengming rushes to offer hot tea, but Han Feibai waves him off. Tea later. Let's watch Lu Fame finish the show. Only after he slays the Earthfiend demon will that tea be worthy. Jin Taeyan merely watches, thinking let them celebrate when the Earthfiend demon appears. Lu Fame will bear the cost. He mutters that the great battle is near, yet Lu Pam still hasn't retreated. Does he really plan to wipe out every beast? Suddenly, the hanging chains in midair all snap, echoing with sharp metallic cracks. At that moment, a dreadful rumble rises as a pitch-black gate beneath the ground begins to open. One by one, grotesque figures emerge, thickening the air with terror. Instantly, Lu Pam raises his sword, scanning the area, regretting not waiting a bit longer to clear them all in one blow. System data flash LV75 Hun 35 Peats 2 LV 75297. Then appears Scout Demon LV, worthy only 50x. Without hesitation, Lu Pam shouts for Hu Long and Xiao Yi time to start the massacre. He glances at Jing Shen and smiles, finally joining the fight. But Xing Shen spreads its wings to block him, roaring twice. It seems to want a solo battle. Suddenly, the horde howls and charges like a raging wave. On impact, Xing Shen stands firm, countering with terrifying power. Seeing that, Lu Pam yells for it to fall back, but the sounds of battle drown him out. Thinking fast, he calls Xiao Ye to assist, fuming that Xing Shen is too stubborn for its low level. Just then, the two-headed fiend freezes, eyes wide with fear as Xing Shen lunges forward. The shriek of weapons follows, shaking the entire battlefield. Lu Pam orders Xiao Ye to strike, thinking Xing Shen's independent streak is hard to control. Then a memory flashes, perhaps this is his chance to witness its true strength. Xing Shen roars, activating Star Radiant Scale armor. Celestial plates cover its body, reflecting all damage for 6 seconds. A blue cyclone bursts forth, blowing away every surrounding beast. Even the massive two-headed one is frozen in place, unable to move an inch. The next counterattack slams the monsters away like scattered debris. Yet the giant still rises, bellowing furiously and swinging its club skyward. Assessing the fight, Lu Pam signals Xiao Ye to hold. Star Radiant armor's done its work, nothing to worry about now. Suddenly, a vast blue explosion flares, sweeping the battlefield like a sandstorm. The two-headed fiend roars one last time before Xing Shen's next strike crashes down. At its peak, it summons a blazing star and crushes it, unleashing a massive area blast. Seeing this, Lu Pam hastily commands Xiao Ye to ascend, dodging the wild surge of power. At that instant, Xiao Ye's roar merges with the storm of blue energy in a thunderous symphony. Instantly, the two-headed fiend is frozen solid, unable to react. The remaining monsters scream hopelessly before shattering into icy dust. Finally, Xing Shen flaps its wings hard, sending a sweeping shockwave that wipes out the remnants. Watching, Lu Pam beams Xing Shen's strength rivals Xiao Ye's finishing blows. After the battle, Lu Pam levels up to 34. Xing Shen, hearing praise, puffs up proudly as if saying, "Told you I'm awesome," making him chuckle. Then Xiao Ye growls back, refusing to be outdone, forcing Lu Pam to coax and tease both, sighing at their fiery egos. Suddenly, a massive violet explosion erupts in the distance, shaking the earth. Instantly, Xiao Ye and Xing Shen both turn toward the blast, eyes sharp with alert. Through the smoke, a massive green foot appears, then a roaring giant frog monster. System identifies it Black Mountain Horn Behemoth LV80 worth 4290x. Lu Pam laughs with delight. Well, the enemy came knocking itself. He signals, Xiao Ye, Xing Shen, let's send it to the afterlife together. Unexpectedly, the monster senses danger, its eyes gleaming like blades. It lashes out its long tongue, whipping forth with deadly force. Lu Pam shouts, Magma Eruption, Black Dragon 11. All three surge energy and charge. The dragon aura buff triggers, each strike now adding twin slashes and dragon claws. The giant frog roars in pain, shaking the entire region. Then it tilts its head back, firing a green beam from its massive horn. The horn detaches mid-blast, flying straight toward the trio. Lu Pam yells, Xing Shen, show it real power! Xing Shen spreads its wings, forming a solid energy shield blocking the entire strike. Seeing the opening, Lu Pam commands, Xiao Ye, now's your moment! Xiao Ye's backplates open, revealing a blazing red energy core. The beam shoots forth, erupting into a molten sea that incinerates everything within. The monster leaps frantically to dodge, but a red light above locks onto its landing point. Lu Pam seizes the chance, dashing up. His sword pierces thick hide as he shouts, got you! Simultaneously, Xing Shen manipulates the horn projectile, spinning it back around. The strike hits the beast dead, making it scream and writhe in agony. Lu Pam grins, praising their flawless teamwork as the system announces Void Star Dragon LV.33 points skyrocketing. Outside, the audience erupts. Lu Pam's score surpasses 50,000, making Longdu proud and rivals stunned. In the observation room, Chu Shengming praises deeply, while Han Fibai just smiles, acknowledging the boy's unmatched power. Meanwhile, Jin Taeyan slams the wall in fury, roaring how Lu Pam wiped out the entire demon horde and outscored Jin Qingyan. He immediately orders an investigation, demanding data from the Dark Spire, suspecting Lu Pam of exploiting system loopholes. His mind spins with schemes. Once he finds a flaw, he'll eliminate Lu Pam from the contest instantly. Half an hour later at the Golden Jade Arena, a subordinate rushes in reporting the national trial system works perfectly, no faults at the Dark Spire. Hearing that, Jin Taeyan grabs the man's collar, shouting so loudly the man trembles and apologizes, promising to recheck. He roars, useless fools! Keep digging, find that loophole! As they scurry away. Falling silent, he grits his teeth. His tool to crush Lu Pam has instead become the boy's springboard. This can't continue. Regaining composure, he pins his hopes on Jin Qinghan and Wu Tangshan. Surely those two can bring Lu Fam down. Straightening his coat, Jin Taeyan strides toward the buzzing spectator stands. Just then, his gaze meets Han Fei Base from across the hall. His pupils tremble, jaw-dropping in disbelief at the scene displayed on the screen. On screen, the battlefield burns, monster corpses piled high, arrows scattered like a hellish graveyard. Amid the ashes, Lu Fame stands proudly atop the fallen, aura blazing. He scans carefully, spotting a fresh horde with a towering leader among them. Raising his hand, he prepares to summon Xiao Fei and LV by 85. Boss can't be taken lightly, better lose some XP than lose the fight. The beasts roar furiously as Xiao Fei is summoned, transforming into the Eternal One form. In an instant, the Jade Dragon fully manifests, all dragon blood and kin-based skills doubled in power. Its life force radiates as Jade Light and Jade Blessing, quadrupling the team's efficiency. Xiao Yi roars in sync. Layer upon layer of blessings stack, boosting damage, resistance, and even blocking consecutive attacks. Lu Pame grips his sword and commands sharply, Xiao Ye, Xing Shen charge! Then dives into battle. The system rapidly updates. Xiao Ye's stats spike, molten flame spreading, striking while healing. The trio storms forward. Eternal Guardian forms a solid barrier, while Xing Shen's Star Radiant armor shields the team. Lu Pam shouts, activate Star Radiant armor! The scales gleam, absorbing all damage to counter it later. Xing Shen dives into the fray, armor storing incoming attacks for a devastating rebound. Amid chaos, Lu Pam suddenly recalls something vital. His eyes flash. He mutters, current dragon aura, black dragon 11 perfect, then pulls out a glowing tomb. It's the LV-35 Dragontong Grimoire, his long-awaited, finally ready for use. Upon activation, the system declares learned skill Dragontong Resonance, doubling magic power when cast in sync with dragon companions. Clenching his fist, Lu Fam grins with magma eruption and this resonance, nothing can stop us. Suddenly, a crimson beam shoots skyward as the ground cracks apart in massive fractures. He turns to Xiao Ye, ready? Go! Unleashing the newly learned Dragontong spell. Responding, Xiao Yi roars, fiery energy erupting upward like a volcano. Flames gush from its body, forming a molten lake that devours all within. Holding position, Xiao Ye channels power, then at Lu Fame's signal, spews a colossal magma torrent, sweeping the field clean. Simultaneously, Lu Fame synchronizes his casting. Their twin magma flows merge, quadrupling destructive force. Watching the swirling energy in his palm, he smiles, feeling his heartbeat merge with Xiao Ye's blazing fury. The monster leader screams in agony, melting completely under the infernal heat. Not wasting a second, Lu Pam shouts, Xiao Yi switch to World Ender form, finish it! System alert, Xiao Yi transformed World Ender form LV-30, all stats surpassing limits. Though badly wounded, the beast thrashes helplessly as Xiao Ye's dragon claws tear it apart. Seeing its end near, Lu Pam delivers the finisher Black Dragon Strike, exploding with a roar that shakes the land. Meanwhile, Xing Shen flicks its tongue teasingly, roaring, Day you ugly thing, and channels energy for one last blow. Star Radiant armor triggers, reflecting all damage and erasing the remaining demons. System message, Jade Dragon leveled up to 23. Lu Fam laughs helplessly. Heavens, Xing Shen, now you're stealing kills too, as Black Dragon rises to LV-31. Has secretly pleased. Xing Shen finally hits LV-15, unlocking its true dragon form. Sure enough, a notification confirms it has mastered a new transformation skill. Opening the interface, Lu Pam's jaw drops. Its stats soar past 4,000 in both stellar and galaxy forms. He analyzes stellar form boosts power fivefold, even stronger than Xiao Ye's World Ender, but lasts only 60 seconds. Meanwhile, galaxy form offers a different edge. Its soul detaches, immune to attacks, invisible while circling enemies. After battle, Lu Pam notices the eerie silence. Almost all beasts are gone. Xing Shen boasts, guess they're scared of my greatness. Suddenly, Xiao Ye freezes, growling. System alert, Black Dragon's sense skill detects an invisible foe nearby. Lu Fame instantly deduces it's the Earth-Fiend demon. He leaps onto Xiao Ye's back, with Xing Shen and Xiao Fei taking flight, vowing total pursuit. Midair, Lu Pame warns, Xiao Fei, Xing Shen stay in formation, no chaos this time. The four dive straight into the massive purple gate of the dark spire, vanishing in its glow. Inside stretches an endless void beneath a swirling violet sky. Lu Pam's footsteps echo in chilling silence. Suddenly, a tiny purple flame flickers in the abyss. Then one by one, more ignite, lighting a grand path deep into the hall. Move Xiao Ye, he murmurs calmly. Xiao Ye growls softly and proceeds. He walks cautiously, sensing a hidden presence lurking, as if traps await. A cold gust brushes past. His spine tingles, steps halting mid-corridor. Instantly, rows of lanterns flare to life. The flickering purple glow turns the place hauntingly eerie. Before him looms a colossal throne rising amid a sea of violet fire. Xiao Ye growls warily, while Lu Pame inhales deeply, shouting, Earth-Fiend demon, show yourself! As the words echo, the sky darkens. A majestic voice booms, a human and a dragon. The deep voice continues, I remember humans killed me long ago. Upon the throne, black smoke coals into a humanoid form, laughing madly. I see my body lost, my soul sealed in this prison. Ha ha ha! Foolish humans keeping my soul as a forbidden relic. Lu Fam tightens his grip on the sword, senses razor sharp. A crimson arm bound in chains bursts from the smoke. The voice roars. I, Earth Fiend Demon, turned into a toy for mankind. How absurd! From the haze, its full form emerges a blooded fiend with one giant eye and countless crawling tentacles. System ID Earth Fiend Demon Nightmare Boss Level 85. Stats exceed limits. Power 31 Spirit 3582 Agility 39034 Endurance 4658. It raises its clawed hand, charging at Lu Pam with a roar. Shield me again, cowardly human, then activates Shadow Convergence, sneering. Say your last words. Lu Pam stands firm, icy eyes fixed on the beast. Just before the claws strike, a brilliant shield bursts open. Jade light from Xiaofei wraps around him. Lu Pam smirks. Last words, keep them for yourself. Then he commands sharply. Xiaofei transform into corpse-seizing dragon. Before the stunned gaze of the Earth Fiend Demon, Xiaofei transforms dark dragon demon, energy swirling around as the fiend mutters in confusion. Lu Pam swings the Luhu Tianyan sword, signaling Xiao Ye to open fire. Xiao Ye opens its jaws, hurling a massive fireball like a falling meteor straight at the foe. But the Earth Fiend Demon stands motionless, the flames passing through its body as if it weren't there. Lu Fam gasps. It went through. Don't tell me this killing aura can't be struck. The fiend sneers. Weak human and foolish young dragon, a perfect pair of failure. Lu Pam instantly realizes it's using Shadow Step Phantom, a stealth skill beyond Xiao Ye's detection. In a blink, the demon loops behind him, lunging to strike. Die, insect! It screeches. Luckily, Xiaofei's shield flashes up just in time, blocking the blow. The demon only laughs madly. Haha, amusing! We'll play with you until you drop! Its style is maddening. 2 hits break 4 defenses, forcing Xiaofei to keep shielding, trapped on the back foot. Seeing this, Lu Fam grits his teeth, deciding to act before being cornered. Just then, the fiend charges again, activating Shadow Convergence. This time you die, human! But Lu Fam blocks with his sword, smirking coldly, not escaping this time. A series of precise counters shatter the illusions, revealing the demon's true form. It roars in shock. What is this? Lu Pam replies, a variant of your own Shadow Step Phantom, my creation. Then shouts, Xing Shen! Let's test your new skill! A flicker of fear creeps into the demon's voice. Impossible, impossible! From above, a pair of galactic wings unfold, tearing through the night. The Void Star Dragon in galaxy form appears, radiating brilliant starlight. The demon bellows in rage. No way! It's still alive and entered here with you? Lu Fam points his sword, voice icy. Doesn't matter how. Now prepare your last words, worm. The fiend realizes too late it couldn't sense Xing Shen, because it used his own stealth against him, humiliation driving him mad. He sidesteps, eyes bloodred, glaring at Lu Pam like a beast about to rip him apart. Screeching, the Earth Fiend Demon charges wildly. Light up this place, all you want. You're just dancing on your grave! Lu Pam and Xiaofei leap high to dodge, shouting, Xiaofei, shift to spirit light form! Landing, he stands atop Xiao Ye's head, ready to command. The trio moves in perfect sync, rushing the center. Lu Pam roars, nowhere left to run! Xiaofei, end it with me! He activates Dragon Rally, while Xiaofei synchronizes Jade Dragon Drive. Their resonance explodes in power. Xiao Ye unleashes its hidden soul, roaring violently, dragon aura flooding the arena. The demon's eyes bulge. Impossible! A human controlling dragon might! Standing atop Xiao Ye, Lu Cam raises his sword forward. Let's bring him down. Twin forces crash down, the demon straining to block. Shockwaves erupt skyward. It snarls so noble dragons kneel to a human. Pathetic. Seeing the attempt to sow discord, Lu Pam grows only fiercer. Xiao Ye, demonic dragon strike! Launching a devastating counterattack. The Earth Fiend Demon still laughs, defiantly. That divine power was never meant to serve you. Lu Pam gritted his teeth and barked at Xing Shen, daring him for an answer. Of course it's right, Xing Shen replied, eyes blazing in the energy storm. Di Shamo roared madly. Fine, then die with your baby dragon. Xiao Yi lunged with a hammer-like punch but was stopped midair. Lu Pam shouted, good job Xiao Ye, and began charging energy for Shadow Arrow. While Di Shamo unleashed Blood Ring Claws, Lu Fam had already powered up for 2 seconds, ready to strike back. Xiao Ye held the blow, gripped the claw, and shoved it away, giving Lu Pam the opening to yell, now! Without hesitation, he swung his arm, pouring all energy into the final shot. A blazing red arrow tore through the air, leaving a fiery trail. It pierced straight into Dai Shamo's chest, setting him ablaze in agony. Xiao Ye added a shockwave, while Xing Shen unleashed Star Shatter, boosting the blast 5-fold. The demon was engulfed in flames, screaming, impossible! This power can't exist! A thunderous explosion ended Di Shamo, leaving nothing but ashes in the void. In the Jinyu Arena control room, Zhao Shengming and Jin Taiyan froze, stunned that Lu Fam had slain a nightmare-class beast, a feat only 5 national heroes had done. Meanwhile, Han Feibai calmly watched as all eyes fixed on the screen. The blast faded, and Di Shamo still moved. Everyone exhaled, thinking the ancient beast was invincible. Then a voice shouted, no! Look closer, it's gravely wounded! Jin Taiyan raised an eyebrow and sneered, ha? You kidding me? From the rubble, Di Shamo staggered up, coughing blood and growling, damn it all! He roared in fury, a mere insect made me this miserable. No! I'll never forgive you! Lu Pam smirked coldly, not forgive me. Too bad I'm not done yet. Don't you see the two dragons? Hearing that, Dishamo jolted and turned in panic. Behind him, two radiant lights flared Lufam's twin dragons, activating solar revival, restoring all vitality. He shouted, "Dragons! Just human pets, you dare defy me!" Dishamo bellowed and charged at them. "It'll never fall to insects again!" He swung his blood ring claws, clashing with their draconic aura, and explosive collision followed. A cataclysmic blast shook the entire realm, flames and smoke raging wildly. As the light faded, Dishamo's body wavered, then slowly collapsed. He hissed through his teeth, "Impossible! Why did I lose? This rotten body, that damn seal!" In despair, he tried to trigger Shadow Step to escape, but a rain of energy arrows struck him, shattering his escape skill. Lufam approached with his bow drawn ice cold. "It's over, Dishamo." The demon laughed hoarsely. "Over. I couldn't slay your dragons or touch you. Is that your ending?" Suddenly, his body convulsed, strange energy surging violently within. Lufam frowned, sensing danger. The demon screamed as blood and black smoke burst from his hands, shrieking, "This power, what is it?" He burst into manic laughter, echoing like a curse as the air itself cracked. Lufam quickly opened the system panel. Shocked he'd clearly defeated it. Was this its second phase? He realized the realm demon had never gone all out. No wonder it once took 5 national heroes to seal it. "No way!" Dishamo roared with laughter. "Scared now, insect? My power's still rising!" Lufam stared at the stats, spine chilled. The numbers skyrocketed beyond measurable limits. In the control room, chaos erupted. No one understood why the monster's power kept spiking out of control. Zhao Shengming urged Han Feibai, "This is bad if it continues. We must order Lufam to retreat immediately." Han Feibai calmly sipped his tea, murmuring, "Vice Principal, did you forget? I said I'd brew new tea once Lufam slays Dishamo." Zhao Shengming frowned. "This is about human life!" Meanwhile, Dishamo howled, "My power's past 100,000. Han Feibai remained serene. His battles always prove unmatched skill. "I believe he won't die meaninglessly." He met Zhao's gaze. "I trust Lufam. Do you?" Moments later, Zhao softened, admitting he fully trusted Lufam after all. With Old Han's confidence, there was no need to worry. Old Han laughed heartily, waving off the concern, understanding the man's fear. Suddenly, Jintayan smiled darkly, eyes gleaming with vile intent. He schemed silently. Those two weaklings would still boost combat data. He just had to wait for Lufam's death. At that moment, facing the massive beast, Lufam smirked coldly, knowing its mutation phase would last long. He charged forward, refusing to let it grow stronger, activating level 2 Black Dragon Aura and freezing his entire body. Then he called Xiao Fei to merge, preparing to unleash Fallen Demon Dragon again. At once, Dishamo's lone eye bulged, hissing horribly as deathly aura filled the air. Just then, Lu Cam shouted the command. Xiao Ye unleashed Dimensional Tempest Roar, shaking the whole battlefield. But Dishamo instantly used Dragon Speech on Seal, nullifying the strike with a furious roar. It laughed maniacally, mocking the fragile humans and their weak dragons. Instantly, Lupame summoned 2 fallen demon dragons, merging Forbidden Curse and Whirlwind Roar into a devastating energy wave. Dishamo went berserk, vowing to make them pay for defying an ancient beast. Then shock overtook him. He gasped in horror. "What is this?" A blinding light engulfed everything as Lufame's cold voice declared, "Now you'll learn what it means to insult a dragon master." Worse yet, the Star Void Dragon entered elite form. Battle time 59 seconds. Dishamo froze, stunned that the tiny hatchling possessed such terrifying power. At once, Light of Prophecy fired, unleashing a massive energy torrent toward the demon. The blast hit dead on. Dishamo screamed in pain, struggling vainly against fate. Even in despair, he gasped, unable to believe he'd lost right after reviving. His giant body disintegrated piece by piece, shrieking to drag everyone into hell with him. As the ground quaked, Lupame sensed something was wrong. Danger closing in fast. Lupame shouted for everyone to escape. The Dishamo was self-destructing, ready to bury the entire tower. The tower split apart, stones exploding amid deafening thunder. Moments later, the whole structure collapsed, dust filling the sky. Luckily, Lufame's group escaped. He sighed in relief as the system showed massive level-ups for him and his dragons. The battle ended exhausting but worth it. Lupame smiled at his skyrocketing points. In the control room, everyone stared at the leaderboard, praising his flawless teamwork with Long Yong. Just then, Zhao Shengming joyfully announced victory, and Old Han laughed, praising Lufame's indomitable spirit. Everyone agreed Longdu Academy's training truly paid off. This boy was extraordinary. Suddenly, a sharp crack sounded. Jin Taiyan, furious, smashed his phone, then awkwardly claimed it was just a slip. He stormed out, leaving the room abuzz, no one knowing why he raged merely because Long Nation scored higher. Old Han chuckled, suggesting they ignore it and share a calming cup of tea. In the hallway, Jin Taiyan vented his fury, punching the wall until his knuckles cracked. He fumed, unwilling to accept that Lupame had slain Dishamo, a feat even national heroes struggled with. Suddenly, 2 subordinates rushed in, panting that they'd lost contact with him for a while. Jin Taiyan grabbed one by the collar, snarling if they'd maxed out Dishamo's stats. The man trembled, saying yes, but Lu Pam killed it too fast before it used its new power, making him suspect cheating. Just then, Zhao Shengming and Han Fei Bai walked by, sending chills down the trio's spines. Old Han smiled calmly, saying Lu Fam's talent outshone the entire national trial, then invited them for a walk. Hearing that, Jin Tai clenched his teeth, rage boiling over. He pointed at his assistant, shouting that Long Nation was suspicious and ordered full surveillance of their movements. Once the aides left, he muttered darkly, plotting to expose Long Nation's hidden secrets. Meanwhile, Old Han told Zhao that unless something unexpected happened, Long Nation would surely take first place. Zhao agreed, while Jin Tai eavesdropped from afar, swearing that if he found proof, head of Long Nation expelled from the alliance. Suddenly, a streak of light sliced through the air behind him. A sword embedded itself in the wall before his face, freezing him in shock. Terrified, he glanced around. No one was there. Looking closely, he saw it was the 4 Absolute Sword, weapon of Dark Knight, Han Fei Bei's level 90 bodyguard. Sweat poured down as he touched the bleeding scratch on his cheek, clearly a gentle warning. Realizing he'd crossed the line, he hurried off, not daring to follow them anymore. 10 minutes later, on the way back, Zhou cheerfully told Old Han he looked forward to Lu Fam's next performance. But Old Han stopped, his gaze falling on the sword mark on the stone wall. He smiled faintly, saying, "Those kids from Taiju Nation sure are bold, but they're still not beyond my sight." Meanwhile, Jin Tai returned, face dark, his subordinates rushing to greet him. One handed him a spare phone, saying many calls had come during his disappearance. He gripped the phone, veins bulging, and roared for everyone to get back to guard duty, no more mistakes allowed. Jin Tai glared at the screen, face darkening as fury choked his breath. He ground his teeth, vowing to expose any hint of cheating and kick Lu Pam out of the game. Meanwhile, the stands erupted in cheers, everyone stunned that Long Nation's score kept climbing though Lu Fam did nothing. Curious, Jin Tai rushed to the scoreboard, freezing as the numbers kept rising on their own. Suddenly, his eyes lit up. He snatched his phone, grinning wickedly, thinking he'd found a fatal flaw. The voice on the line barked at him to hurry and get proof. The public was raging over the alleged fraud. Jin Tai was dumbfounded, unable to grasp what madness was unfolding before him. Why were Di Shamo's troops adding points to Lu Fam's team as if obeying him? Meanwhile, Lu Pam relaxed, letting the demon beasts hand him free points, smiling that he finally got to rest. An hour earlier, after escaping the spire, he'd sighed in relief. He'd nearly been trapped inside. After that victory, watching his points soar, he felt he'd earned a brief breather. Gazing at the sky, he reflected he'd never truly seen the fallen demon dragons as comrades, but that fight changed his mind. Then his eyes drifted to the nearby graves. A reckless idea flashed through his mind. He recalled the Northern Camp incident, when the Twin Sky Dragon King turned into a fallen corpse dragon, saved by Xiao Fei from the ancient god's control. Back then, had learned the line between a fallen corpse, a puppet, and a fallen dragon, a willful dead. Now, with 2 fallen demon dragons and countless beast corpses around, it was the perfect chance to test it. Seeing him silently calculating, Xiao Ye and Xing Shen grew uneasy, but Lu Pam smiled. It was time to test his luck. At once, the 2 fallen demon dragons roared, black mists surging over the ground. But Lu Pam sighed. The resonance failed. They couldn't command normal corpses. Just as he was about to give up, a tiny hand gently touched his shoulder. A little girl with emerald wings floated above, tilting her head innocently. "Who are you?" The sight stunned Jin Tai, and outside horrified to see Di Shamo's army bowing to Lu Fam. His phone slipped from his grasp. Long Nation had won absolutely, and his own reputation was ruined. At that moment, Old Han's steady, proud voice came from behind, affirming Lu Cam remained number 1. Zhao replied with an awkward laugh, admitting he'd worried too much. Old Han calmly said the outcome was now crystal clear. Then he glanced at Jin Tai, eyes sharp as steel, tone tinged with mockery. Jin Tai clenched his jaw, Old Han's smug tone cutting deep, his eyes burning with hatred. Through gritted teeth, he muttered coldly, "Fine, I'll give you a new, very special mission." Meanwhile, Lu Pam stood calmly amid the demon army, issuing complex commands to Xiao Fei. His score kept climbing effortlessly. Suddenly, the system blinked. He frowned and sighed. No rest yet. Another mission had arrived. Opening the log, he saw a high-rank quest had just appeared on the world map. In the frozen plains, a blue pillar of light flared brightly against the endless white snow. There, Jia Shanlai hid behind an ancient tree, holding her breath and relaxing, once sure no one else was around. Jia Shanlai smirked darkly, thinking luck had finally turned. No more disasters like meeting Lu Fam again. But his grin froze as Xiao Ye appeared in the light. His face went pale. "No way? Him again?" He groaned, furious that his rare quest overlapped with the rival who'd once humiliated him. Then he froze. Lu Pam's presence meant had already cleared the realm demon quest. Lu Pam sensed something off, glancing back warily. Jia Shanlai waved frantically, forcing a nervous laugh, saying he'd just shouted by accident. Lu Fam ignored him, drawing his sword and activating Black Dragon Howl, dark aura swirling around him. Jia Shan Lai panicked, remembering the promise of mercy before he could plead. The sword light flashed past him. Thinking he was hit, he dropped down, but the system credited Lu Pam for slaying a hidden beast behind him. He exhaled in relief, thrilled that Lu Pam hadn't aimed for him, his heart still pounding. Scratching his head shyly, he thanked Lu Pam for the timely rescue. Lu Pam glanced at his panel and replied coolly it was nothing, just convenience. Jia Shanlai chuckled weakly. Still shaking, the system showed him ranked 17th of Nan Nation with just over 20,000 points. Lu Fam raised a brow, bluntly asking how it earned so little after a whole day, leaving Jia Shanlai awkwardly smiling. Lu Fam thought his score too low to bother and decided to spare him for now. He stepped forward and slapped his shoulder, making Jia Shanlai jump. With a stern gaze, Lu Pam said his point growth was disgracefully slow for a Nan Nation fighter. Then, he turned, smiling slightly, telling him to rank higher before their next meeting. Jia Shanlai stood frozen for a moment, then bowed deeply, eyes filled with gratitude. He hadn't expected the so-called arrogant Lu Fam to both save and encourage him. Reflecting, he cursed himself for ever resenting the one who'd just helped him. Clenching his fists, Jia Shanlai vowed to fight harder for Nan Nation's honor and to repay this debt. Taking a deep breath, his eyes burned with resolve. Next time, he'd be strong enough to stand as Lu Fam's true rival. Watching Lu Pam and Xiao Ye fly off into the fading light, Jia Shanlai stood in awe, admiration flooding his chest. Meanwhile, Lu Pam reviewed his new quest, analyzing the mysterious rank 6 target in the marshlands, possibly Jin Changhan or Silai. He clenched his fists, eyes firm. Whoever it was, this mission would be completed no matter what. Instantly, he shouted for Ziye to prepare, and together they roared toward the marshlands. By afternoon, deep in the marsh secret realm, thick fog swirled and red eyes glowed among the damp trees. A massive black serpent lunged out, biting a wild boar clean in half, blood spraying. Atop the serpent, Kailan licked his lips, smirking. What a delightful hunt. He leapt down, watching the dying beast, as a cold, unreadable woman approached. She said softly, "Let him come, we only need to wait." Kailan grinned confidently, sure their foe wouldn't expect his new alliance with Hang Nation. The system showed her name Wei Qi, level 60, over 50,000 points. Wai Chu frowned, complaining about the swamp's stench and toxic bugs, while Kailan calmly reminded her they had a deal to keep. Wai Qi leaned against a tree, arms crossed, asking why she was alone. Where were Sullen and Badan? Kailan replied that Badan was on his way, while Jia Shanlai had vanished, but was likely still alive somewhere. Demons. Wei Qi scoffed, saying waiting was pointless. She checked the leaderboard and complained that regrouping had cost her many hunting targets. Then she glanced at Kailan and asked bluntly, "That hunter, is he here too?" He nodded slightly, calculating that once Badan arrived, they'd strike together. Kailan smirked wickedly, "Then hell learn who the real predator is." 4 hours later, Ziyi descended through thick fog, waves of chill spreading across the swamp. Lu Pam landed lightly, studying the tangled terrain, poisonous and deadly for anyone without wings. He quickly noticed the eerie silence and the presence of only tiny creatures clearly in ambush. In a low voice, he ordered Ziyi to activate sensory scan over the entire area. The system displayed Black Dragon Sense, detects hidden enemies and breaks all camouflage. After a few seconds, Lu Pam smirked, pinpointing 3 strong auras lurking nearby. Drawing his sword, he taunted, "You've heard me, right? Why hide? Want me to drag you out?" His level 2 Black Dragon aura burst forth as he drove his sword into the ground, dark energy erupting. A painful hiss rang out. The black serpent was blasted from its hiding spot. The system confirmed the quest target had appeared. On the serpent's back, Kailan panicked. He hadn't expected Lu Pam to find him so fast. The system identified him as rank 6, level 60 Hang Nation. Lu Fam's voice was calm, tinged with disappointment. The target wasn't the strong opponent had hoped for. Kailan sneered, mocking that he'd expected a true master, not some Long Nation representative. Then the system flagged hunter encountered. Kailan's grin vanished as he saw the name Lu Fam, Long Nation, rank 1, over 550,000 points. Cold sweat trickled down. Just yesterday the guy was near the bottom, and now had surpassed everyone. Terrifying speed. Yet Kailan smirked again, thinking he'd just found the perfect prey, a chance to change his fate. He stood tall, weapon raised, scoffing that no matter how strong Lu Fam was, those points would soon be his. Lu Pam stayed silent, sword lifted, eyes sharp, aura divine like a war god descending. Kailan spun his spear, condensing venom into a glowing green orb at its tip. He mocked that Lu Pam was just offering himself up, laughing maniacally. A violent explosion thundered. The blast hurled Lu Pam back through clouds of smoke. Landing on Xiao Ye's back, he growled defiantly, "If you want it, come and take it." Raising his sword, he commanded, "Xiao Ye, magma breath!" A massive molten sphere formed in the dragon's jaws. Kailan steadied his trembling black serpent, shouting for it to charge, dismissing the attack as weak. The clash shook the swamp. Poison mist and magma flames collided in chaos. Suddenly, the black serpent dove deep into the mud, vanishing. Lu Fam frowned. He knew it hadn't fled, only baited him, and sensed 2 others still hidden. From afar, Wei Qi lunged to strike from behind, but Lu Pam had anticipated it. She froze midair, unleashing a deadly energy orb aimed straight at him. Lu Fame twisted aside and slashed, deflecting the attack in a heartbeat. From above, a massive shadow crashed down a dragon's claw striking toward Wei Qi. Before she could dodge, Xiao Ye snatched her up, flames gleaming on its black scales. The claw tore through her body. Wei Qi screamed, blood spraying, unable to believe such power came from a mere level 36. Seeing it, Ba Dan clenched his teeth, ready to rush in. Lu Fame glanced over, coolly remarking that these three were disappointingly weak, still laughing mid-battle. Writhing in pain, Wei Qi shouted for her allies, urging Qi Lan and Ba Dan to strike together. The black serpent burst from the mud, lunging at Xiao Ye with terrifying speed. It coiled tightly around the dragon, making Xiao Ye roar in agony. Lu Fame instantly swung his sword down. The serpent retaliated, biting into Xiao Ye's arm, driving it mad with pain. In fury, Xiao Ye crushed its neck, slamming its head deep into the mud as Qi Lan screamed in shock. Ba Dan cursed as their plan collapsed. The system displayed him as rank 14, Jinshang Nation, level 57 Shadow Hunter. Wei Qi was stunned, unable to believe their whole team was being crushed so easily. Ba Dan shouted that Lu Fame couldn't possibly be level 36, while Qi Lan yelled they had to gamble his points alone could push them into the top 3. Lu Fame sneered that getting injured during an ambush was shameful. If they wanted his points, they'd better be sure they could take them. Wei Qi snarled back that the final result was still undecided. Lu Fame smiled coldly, then let's fight fair and see who truly owns this swamp. Qi Lan immediately ordered Xiao Qi, the giant venomous serpent, to attack at full strength. It spat a stream of green toxin toward Lu Fame, but he was faster, his sword flash slicing the poison cloud apart. Lu Fame barked, "Z, finish it," his tone commanding like a battlefield general. Ziye shot forward, coiling the serpent tight. The system announced toxin immunity, halved damage, and boosted regeneration. With a thunderous roar, it tore the massive snake apart, green venom splattering across the swamp. Kalan screamed in disbelief. Xiao Q destroyed in a single move. Before he could react, a dark figure rushed in, cutting him off, promising to cover him for another strike. Lu Fam's eyes followed the incoming arrow. The glow on Qi Lan's staff made him frown, sensing danger. Kalan raised the staff, threatening, "The magic array is ready, stop now." "Lu Fam!" He drove it into the mud. Xiao Chu's corpse convulsed as countless snake heads sprouted. The system warned 10,000 serpent array, 60 seconds to summon billions of venomous snakes. Lu Fam glared as the tide of serpents surged, toxic air thickening. He slashed rapidly, decapitating snakes by the dozens, yet their numbers only grew. Qi Lan laughed triumphantly, ordering his allies to attack Xiao Ye, while Wei Chu nervously asked if the vipers might turn on them. Ba Dan shouted there was no time to argue and charged with Wei Q. But then, an earth-shaking explosion erupted before Qi Lan, making him scream in terror. From the inferno, a dragon-scaled hand emerged as Lu Pam's cold voice echoed, "Don't celebrate yet, your trick's useless against me." The system announced world-ending roar. Activated flames engulfed the serpent horde, while Lu Fam strode forth, blazing dragon claw, unleashing 6 consecutive strikes. Gilan kept laughing madly, declaring it was only a test. The real thing would be far worse. He raised his scepter, summoning a vortex that sucked in all the snake corpses, shouting for Wei Qi and Ba Dan to attack. Wei Qi charged in, swinging her staff straight at Lu Fan's face, but he calmly raised his hand, blocking and nullifying the strike in an instant. Ba Dan fired a flurry of arrows to encircle them. Xiao Yi spread her wings, shattering every arrow amid blazing red flames. Suddenly, Lu Fan felt strange tremors beneath the ground, a bad premonition rising. In the distance, Jilan laughed, chanting, "Rise, Xiao Qi! Serpent fusion, unleash the venomous legion!" A giant snake, formed from thousands of corpses, emerged. The system announced it as the immortal resurrected serpent, doubling each time it shattered. 2 massive heads spewed dense green poison, engulfing Lu Fan and Xiao Yi in a deadly mist. Lu Fan shouted, "Zia, get to me! Prepare full defense!" He knew the serpent shared its master's spirit. Killing one spawned 2. Xiao Yi spread her wings to block the toxin. Wei Qi couldn't dodge, was struck by poison, veins bulging as she screamed in agony. A roared in rage, demanding why Jilan attacked his own ally. Countless venomous snakes surged around. Jilan had lost control, obsessed with killing Lu Fan, laughing that the poisoned were doomed. Aghast for breath, voice hoarse, begging Jilan to cure him, coughing in despair. But Jilan just glanced coldly, certain Lu Fan had perished in the poison fog, ignoring him. He calmly watched a wreath on the ground, his cries echoing unanswered. A dark idea flashed. If Wei Qi and Ba Dan died, all the points would be his. Horrified, Ba Dan shook Wei Qi, pleading with Jilan, but Wei Qi was motionless, eyes wide open. Suddenly, Wei Qi gasped back to life. The system announced blood fusion shield had neutralized the toxin. Jilan raised his staff, apologizing calmly, granting his allies poison immunity and even bonus points to show goodwill. Yet his face darkened, secretly deciding not to break the alliance while Andre and Shockley remained. Once stable, he ordered Wei Qi and Ba Dan to confirm Lu Fan's death. They reluctantly obeyed to avoid more conflict. Then Gilan's face went pale through the poison mist. Lu Fan walked out, smiling coldly, very much alive. The sight left Badan and Wei Chu frozen in terror and disbelief. Riding Xiaoye, Lu Fan sneered at them. The system showed he was toxin immune, damage halved, and regenerating rapidly. Badan screamed in shock, refusing to believe Lu Fan was unscathed and immune to all debuffs. Gilan trembled, realizing his skills were useless against Lu Fan, fear and hatred boiling inside. He roared, ordering everyone to kill Lu Fan at all costs, promising rich rewards for the kill. Wei Chi gripped her weapon, snorted coldly, signaling Badan to coordinate the next strike. But before she could move, a deafening explosion behind them made the whole group freeze and look back in shock. As the explosion echoed, Lu Fan froze, wondering if it came from his allies. Startled, Wei Qi shouted a challenge, half thinking Yatan might have arrived. Suddenly, a massive fireball struck Wei Qi, sending her screaming in pain amid roaring flames. From the smoke emerged none other than Andre. He laughed boldly, declaring he came to aid Lu Fan and scolding the cowards for ganging up 3 unknown. Lu Fan called out Andre's name in surprise as the man planted his axe, praising Lu Fan's dragon as fierce. Lu Fan patted Xiao Ye's head, assuring she was safe, joking that Andre's fire strike rivaled lightning itself. Andre laughed, boasting it was his 3rd-tier skill flame god embodiment, saying that was only a warm-up. As they chatted, Wei Qi rose from the dust, eyes blazing with fury. Lu Fan kept talking casually, while Andra, realizing Wei Qi was female, blurted out in surprise, enraging her even more. Andre raised a brow, saying he'd handle her first and asked Lu Fan if he could deal with the rest. Lu Fan scratched his head with a grin, saying he'd manage just fine. Feeling ignored, Wei Qi clenched her teeth in anger. Her rage erupted, aura surging as she shouted they'd regret underestimating her. Behind her, a giant bear spirit appeared, granting immense endurance and vitality for a drawn-out battle. Transforming into the spirit bear avatar, she swung her mace, roaring that all would pay. Andre instantly raised his axe to block, flames roaring around him. While holding back, he yelled for Lu Fan to stay safe, activating his flame god embodiment as fiery wings spread from his back. Andre leapt back as the bear spirit charged wildly forward. Watching the chaos, Lu Fan sighed, thinking Andre was both reliable and a headache. Then he raised his hand, summoning thunder. Chanting draconic magic, the Dragon King's roar burst forth, unleashing a sweeping electric storm. Badan screamed, stunned that Lu Fan knew draconic lightning, a spell of ancient legend. A colossal thunder dragon materialized, its roar shaking the realm. The lightning blast hurled Badan Gilan and the serpent away, Gilan shouting for Xiao Qiu in desperation. Trembling, Badan crawled toward Gilan, begging him to hold on as she was drained of strength. But when she saw what Gilan was doing, she screamed in shock, sensing something terribly wrong. Panicking, Badan cried out, begging Gilan not to leave her. Yet, ignoring her pleas, Gilan and Xiao Qi vanished coldly into the earth. Instantly, Lu Fan's lightning redirected, striking Badan's position. Unable to dodge, she took the full blast. The system chimed. Badan, Kingdom of Jingxiang, deceased. 21 remain. Lu Fan stared at the ashes, cursing the traitor coldly, vowing Gilan wouldn't escape. He turned to Xiao Ye, ordering her to trigger the dragon resonance. Magma flames roared to life. At its peak, Lu Fan's voice thundered, declaring he'd burned the entire magma lake, amplifying his power through draconic resonance. As the ritual completed, he raised his hand and proclaimed this would be the traitor's grave. In an instant, molten fire surged, incinerating Gilan. Only black ash remained as Lu Fan declared the hunt over. Thus, the system updated. Only 20 survivors remained, and Lu Fan's score changed. Seeing the 10,000 points, he mused that PvP was brutal but rewarding, his top rank still secure. Just then, a familiar voice called from behind, "Brother, catch this!" Lu Fan spun around instantly, eyes sharp with caution. The ground shook as another violent explosion erupted below. Amid fire and smoke, Wei Ji roared in bear form, struggling desperately to endure. Andre raised his weapon, eyes fierce, targeting Wei Ji without hesitation. As the axe neared, Wei Ji could only whisper a weak plea for mercy. It was useless. Andre's weapon morphed into a war hammer, smashing straight through the bear's body. Lifting Wei Ji high, Andre thundered mockingly, calling her a coward for begging to live. Then he suddenly hurled her toward Lu Fan, shouting, "Brother, finish it!" Catching on instantly, Lu Fan smirked. Only the one who landed the killing blow earned the points. In a flash, he drew his bow, loosed an arrow, ending the prey's score, spiking in satisfaction. Andre approached, seeing Xiao Ye tense up, and raised a hand to signal peace, saying he meant no harm. Lu Fan smiled lightly, thanked him, joking he'd never refuse free good deeds like this. Andre laughed, saying it was fine after all. Lu Fan had treated him to too many Dragon Nation dishes, now he had to go hunt more points. Suddenly, Andre's stomach growled loudly, making him scratch his head in embarrassment. He then whispered, "Brother, got any more Dragon Nation food for me?" The three landed in the forest, roasting chicken over a fire. Andre ate happily, praising nonstop, even offering points for food, but Lu Fan just laughed, saying it was free. Andre insisted on paying, declaring at least 2,000 points per chicken. But when he saw Lu Fan's score over 700,000, he gaped in disbelief. Lu Fan then glanced at Andre's info screen, asking curiously if he'd also been assigned the Demon Realm Crusade quest. Andre froze, replying, "You too, with that score. Don't tell me you cleared the Dark Spire already." Lu Fan calmly answered that it had been his goal from the start since Dark Spire monsters gave the best points. Andre fell silent, inwardly trembling. Without special skills, he'd have died ages ago. He sighed in relief, thankful he'd never fought Lu Fan. Neither he nor Shark Lee could have survived. After a pause, Andre admitted he'd once planned to teach Lu Fan how to farm points, but now saw it was pointless. Lu Fan chuckled, saying he'd worked hard to conquer that spire. Andre glanced at Xiaoye munching chicken, realizing dragon mounts made all the difference. No wonder dragon riders were so rare and powerful. Xiaoye suddenly turned, growling over her food tray, scaring Andre into a nervous laugh, mumbling she was just a bit temperamental. Lu Fan spoke slowly, his tone low. "You tried that quest once and failed, didn't you?" Andre nodded, sweat forming as he recalled the nightmare. Taking that mission locked out every other option. Lu Fan smiled, suggesting, "I've got a plan. How about we team up this time?" As they traveled together, Andre asked curiously, "Hey brother, why does your dragon keep staring at me like I'm lunch?" Lu Fan laughed, assuring him she just hates living things. "With me here, you're safe." He thought silently. No way he'd admit Andre once stole her portion. The group arrived before a familiar pyramid, the system flashing constant alerts. The Dark Spire loomed ahead. On screen appeared Rot Saints LV64 Tianjiani LV68 Peats. Andre gripped his axe, asking quickly, "Brother, what's our move now?" Lu Fan smiled lightly, replying, "You handle your part, I'll handle mine. Let's split for now." Mounting Xiaoye, he added, "With your power, clearing those Rot Saints in Tianjiao outside shouldn't be an issue, right?" Andre nodded confidently, saying those waves were many but weak, easily manageable. "Good," Lu Fan agreed. "You take the outer field, I'll storm inside and wipe the nest clean." Andre froze in disbelief. "Wait, what? You're diving straight into the nest?" Lu Fan gave no answer, shouting the command "Spirit Mode activate stellar form." Energy surged, his body shrouded in azure smoke as the system announced a 5-fold power boost for 60 seconds. The spirit cast Void Thread, opening a spatial gate lasting 6 seconds, immune to all seals. As the vortex widened, Lu Fan said, "Rather than wait for waves, I'll sweep them all at once, faster, cleaner." Before stepping through, he told Andre to stay safe. He'd handle the monsters inside. Andre was speechless, seeing another dragon appear. Lu Fan and his 2 dragon companions charged in without hesitation. He chuckled softly, remarking how grand the welcome party was. Immediately, hordes swarmed. Abyss moths, earth fiends, dark knights, and corpse beetles filled the halls. A deep voice rose from the shadows, sneering, calling him a lowly human. It was the Earth Golem Demon, a nightmare-tier boss with stats far beyond the norm. Grinning, it offered him a final mercy to choose his own death. Lu Fan snorted, eyes blazing. "Too bad the gift I brought might take a little longer to unwrap." He activated the Jade Stream Pact LV2D4, doubling bloodline and linked skill power. Then he ordered Faye to cast Soul Shelter, greatly boosting defense, absorbing damage, and charging a counterstrike. Smiling coldly, he thought though enemies were many, Xiaoye's Dragon Pact made her superior in every stat. Instantly, Lu Fan commanded an allowed attack objective total annihilation. Dragon Aura synchronized with Dragon Tide Impact, creating a devastating explosion. The spirit unleashed Starbreak, forming a stellar orb that crushed enemies in a vast radius. 3 seconds later, the star shattered, sending shockwaves of energy damage boosted 500 by Void Stream power. Amid chaos, Chain skills burst forth, detonated, releasing destructive waves. The gathered stellar light focused into a beam piercing all defenses, damage soaring into the hundreds of thousands. Watching numbers skyrocket, Lu Fan smirked. Leveling up felt like picking candy off the ground. But then, the fallen demon dragon appeared, using dark soil breath and draconic magic to slash incoming damage. Lu Fan summoned Xiaofei, calling forth a twin fallen demon dragon, equal in level to its master. The 2 dragons clashed fiercely, fire and black smoke consuming the spire. Lu Fan activated Galaxy Form, constellations swirling around him, sweeping the entire battlefield clean. A flood of messages appeared. Jade Street LV2D5, Voidstream to LV118, Lu Fan reached LV37, and the Black Dragon rose to LV33. An Abyss Black Moth shrieked, spewing poison that formed a black hole before exploding, but Lu Fan only smirked, calling it self-inflicted death. His smile faded, eyes sharpening like blades. He gripped a shard of broken mirror, frowning. The reflection had completely vanished. The system announced Earth Golem Demon activated Dark Break, merging with space, entering invisible immunity. Lu Fan frowned, losing all trace of the target. At that moment, the Earth Fiend Demon merged with the shadows, casting Death Enwrap, inflicting poison, paralysis, and confusion on the Earth Golem Demon. A powerful force suddenly hurled the Golem Demon out of the battlefield. Roaring in rage, it demanded how a mere human dared enter this realm and command a demon of his kind. The Earth Fiend gave no answer, vanishing into murderous mist, slashing with bloody claw rings in a blink. 5 crimson streaks ripped through the air, exploding and burning the Golem Demon in a sea of fire. From afar, Lu Fan smiled in amusement, murmuring, "Nice to see an old friend, hope you like the gift." At that instant, within the Dark Spire's trial floor, the golem demon's fury erupted violently. Once an ancient demon god, it raged at being slain twice by mortals now reduced to a puppet in their hands. It screamed in madness, calling comparison to lesser beings the ultimate insult. System update: Earth Golem Demon LV85, Nightmare Boss Tier New Skill Shadow Split, creating 8 clones sharing damage for 15 seconds. The Earth Fiend sensed Lu Fan's killing intent, unease rising, tried casting Death Enwrap again but was interrupted mid-spell. The Golem Demon roared his name, voice dripping with hatred. Yet the Earth Fiend didn't falter, activating Shadow Split, attacking relentlessly. Lu Fan grinned wickedly. Glad you like the gift, let me add some fire. Instantly, he summoned the Heavenly Demon Army. Hundreds of thousands of demonic soldiers awakened, filling the spire's entire space. Seeing this, the Golem Demon panicked, unable to believe a human could command the Dark Spire's own demon legions. Lu Fan narrowed his eyes with excitement. Ancient beasts, all the same, let's see who the true ruler is. The two armies clashed fiercely, the advantage swiftly tilting toward the demon army. The Golem Demon screamed in despair, refusing to believe such power came from a mere human. The demon soldiers roared in unison. Your turn now, wretched creature! Though overwhelmed, the Golem Demon still roared defiance, calling their victory delusion. But reality hit hard. He took a fatal blow, body cracking, preparing to flee. Lu Fan activated Dragon's Rally, massively boosting Dragon Valor stats and attack power. He said coldly, trying to run. Not happening. Xiaoye appeared, stats beyond all limits, ready to strike the final blow. Lu Fan then ordered decisively for Xiaofei to pour all spirit and power into the next attack. At once, Xiaofei blazed with starlight, transforming into a radiant stellar dragon. Simultaneously, Xiaoye summoned magma, shaking the ground violently. In that moment, Lu Fan broke the draconic seal, sacrificing life force to unleash a cataclysmic skill with double destructive power. A beam of stellar annihilation followed, light converging and shattering all defenses in an instant. Damage surpassed 700,000 as magma erupted, devouring the target completely. Through draconic resonance, magic power doubled within the inferno, echoed the dying screams of the Earth Golem Demon. Meanwhile, outside the swamp, Andrew struggled against a fierce beast. He beat his fiery wings, clashed claws, then dove straight down from the sky. His strike landed like thunder, smashing the monster's skull. As the smoke cleared, the creature's corpse sprawled lifeless on the muddy ground. Flying near the spire, Andrew frowned. Strange, the third wave of beasts still hasn't shown. Suddenly, the spire exploded from within, the blast hurling Andrew far back. Rubble rained down like a storm, blotting out the sky. He looked around warily, a bad premonition rising. Minutes later, a massive black dragon burst from the ruins, its deep voice praising Andrew's speed. Below, piles of corpses towered. The dragon hurled a huge head aside, shouting, "Brother, you good?" Andrew recognized Lu Fan's voice. The head landed beside him as the system warned, Earth Golem Demon will revive in 4 minutes. Seeing the red eyes glowing through green mist, Andrew shivered at its eerie power. Lu Fan leapt off Xiaoye, ordering firmly, no hesitation, it's reviving soon. Andrew froze. Surprised, Lu Fan calmly said failure to strike now meant mission failure. Andrew laughed heartily, flames flaring around him. You truly honor your word, brother. He then unleashed a heaven-splitting blow. The system confirmed the resurrection skill had been nullified. As dawn broke, the swamp glowed with fire. The two sat talking amid victory's aftermath. Andrew grinned at his system screen, boasting he'd climbed to rank 2 with over 270,000 points. Lu Fan asked softly if that meant their temporary team had ended. Andrew stood, eyes regretful, saying if they weren't rivals, he'd gladly share a drink with Lu Fan. Lu Fan smiled, extending his hand. They shook, promising to drink together after the trials. Xiaoye just blinked in confusion beside them. At that moment, Andrew opened his system, transferring 50,000 points to Lu Fan, insisting he take them. Lu Fan glanced at the notification, puzzled why Andrew did that. Andrew scratched his head, smiling awkwardly, saying he'd eaten too much of Lu Fan's food and owed him for the help. Lu Fan laughed heartily and accepted. Then Andrew turned serious, asking one last question before leaving. You're this strong. With such a dragon, why waste time on the weak ones? Lu Fan replied calmly that it was a chance to study new talents and class traits. Victory would still be his in the end. Andrew spread his fiery wings, laughing that it sounded like another of Lu Fan's cool quotes, then said he'd go farm more points. He soared high, waving farewell, promising to meet again under a blazing sky. Watching him fade into the horizon, Lu Fan quietly hoped he'd never be forced to face that friend as an enemy. Finally, he turned back to the Golem Demon's head, preparing the ritual to make it his personal undead legion. At the same time, inside the National Trial Command Room, Andrew's friends cheered. Had risen to second place. A bald elder representing Snow Nation approached Elder Han, offering sincere thanks and goodwill. Elder Han smiled kindly, praising Andrew's chivalry, while his guard reported that the Grand Nation had fallen to third place. In another corner, Mr. Jin's face darkened as he heard others gossip about new challengers surpassing him, his fury boiling. The more he stared at the rankings, the angrier he grew. He smashed the screen, roaring that there was only one way left to overturn it. Just then, a guard entered with urgent news, but he shouted them down until he heard the phrase, "The 10 scrolls are complete." At that, Kim Tae-an's demeanor shifted, eyes gleaming with cold calculation. He laughed wickedly, ordering to be taken there immediately to execute the final plan. On the third day, Kim Tae-an secretly tested a new weapon, receiving from his guard a suitcase of hastily crafted devices. Inside lay a consumable item, a temporary teleport gate, active for 180 seconds but highly unstable and dangerous. Holding it, Kim Tae-an's eyes narrowed in thought, quietly planning his next move. The guard hesitated, reporting they'd monitored Lu Fan for days without finding anything suspicious. Kim Tae-an growled, calling them fools, then decided to act personally, no matter the risk. Before leaving, he ordered 2 guards to secure the hallway, allowing no one near. He then activated the 10 scrolls, summoning a violent spatial vortex, declaring he'd personally enter the secret realm to send intel. The guards tried to stop him, warning exposure on the live stream would bring disaster. But Kim Tae-an's voice was icy. "Keep the desert scene stable. If this leaks, our nation's honor collapses." His subordinates obeyed in unison. He then commanded them to launch Operation Antimate immediately. At the same time, Lu Fan received a new quest: Subjugate the Earth Blood Demon, a level 85 giant-class fiend. In the desert, a green beam descended. Lu Fan suspected a hidden hand behind this hideous mission. Ignoring doubt, he rode Xiaoye straight toward the black tower shrouded in fog. Landing, Lu Fan called out sharply, "Xiaofei, rest time's over!" Instantly, Xiaofei transformed into a stellar dragon, rending space open into a glowing rift. Xiaoye carried Lu Fan through the light, slaying 7 minor fiends in seconds. Then the two dove into arcane domain, ready for the next trial. The Earth Blood Demon roared fiercely, mocking the human who dared step into its realm, its power far beyond nightmare rank. Lu Fan summoned the Dragonbone Flute, speaking calmly, "Apologies for intruding, but the one dying here will be you." He fused his magic, summoning twin undead Earth Golem and Earth Iron demons, and ordered an allowed assault. Meanwhile, outside the tower, Tang Tian cornered a foreign contestant, begging pitifully for mercy. Pressing his blade to the man's neck, Tang Tian sneered, "Want to live? Then how will you beg me?" The man trembled, offering to transfer all his points if spared. Tang Tian laughed coldly, demanding he lick his boots while insulting his own nation. The American player quivered, trying to resist, but his voice was faint. Tang Tian smirked, ordering louder. Under his glare, the man bowed, stammering the humiliating words to survive. As the disgrace left his lips, Tang Tian grinned cruelly, savoring the defeated man's humiliation. Suddenly, a pitch-black hand shot from the void, striking forward. In an instant, it pierced through Osai Bang's abdomen, killing him on the spot. Tang Tian froze, turning back in irritation. Before him stood Jin Chenghan, the one who struck. "What the hell, man? I wasn't done playing yet!" Cheng Han shrugged as his score soared, muttering that since he'd die anyway, he doubted the other would spare him. Zhang Tian frowned and snorted, saying if anyone was to kill, it should be him. This was just stealing his points. Cheng Han replied coldly that the other fought poorly. He wasn't after points but something more important, so shut up and listen. Suddenly, chaotic light flashed as Jin Tian stepped out of a shaky portal, leaving Zhang Tian utterly stunned. Meanwhile, inside the tower, the Earth Blood Fiend was overwhelmed by Lu Fan's puppet army's relentless combo attacks. It screamed in terror, staring at its betraying kin, disbelief twisting its face. A crimson claw slashed down as the Earth Iron Fiend lunged in to finish the job before its foe could react. Lu Fan folded his arms and smiled. If those two fiends were that strong together, Taiji Nation would definitely panic. As the Earth Blood Fiend fell, he strode out proudly with his beast army, picturing the terror they'd unleash outside. Elsewhere in the desert, sandstorms howled and dust veiled everything. Jin Chenghan sped ahead on his beast mount while Zhang Tian flailed behind, yelling he was about to fall only to get a curt shout back. Annoyed, he yelled, "Why not just take that anti-mess mission, if the commander had already mentioned it?" He recalled Jin Taeyan's rushed words through the portal, just a quick report before it collapsed. Taeyan had confirmed the secret realm was stable, so he hadn't forcibly ejected Lu Fan. Had added that to climb ranks fast, they must learn how Lu Fan beat the Dark Tower. The portal began to quake violently, lights flickering chaotically. Jin Taeyan shouted that he had to go, telling them to use the Antimate mission well, as the chance came only once. Once he vanished, Chenghan calculated it wasn't worth wasting that mission on Lu Fan yet. He decided the real target should be the leaderboard's top, someone worthy of the mission's full value. Zhang Tian sighed, saying, "Fine, people from Taiji Nation sure love cheating." Suddenly, Chenghan leapt and landed hard on the beast's back, knocking Zhang Tian off balance and tumbling down. Groaning in pain, he yelled why the hell he'd attack over just a few words. Chenghan kept his gaze ahead, replying coldly that the fool should look forward, something scarier than him awaited. As he said that, Wu Zhang Tian froze, face darkening in wordless dread. From afar, an iron-chained army marched in heaven, demon soldiers, level 75, each carrying the weight of true war.